everybody, and welcome to F1 Tonight, Netherlands. And we are here in Grand Britain, in Silverstone. And joining me in the commentary box this evening is my good co-host and friend, Adrian. Good evening, Adrian.
Evening, Eddie. Thanks for the great introduction, as per usual.
I was thinking of giving you a rubbish one, but I thought, what the hell, so I might as well big him up, poor lad. He's got nothing else there, do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, all right.
Right, okay, so just to give you a little bit of info, this background here, you're thinking, what track is this? Well, this is actually the National Pit Straights, which is the old start-finish line and pit boxes in there. But let's have a look at this Drivers' Championship as it stands at this moment in time. Nicky Visser leading the way on 152 championship points. Second is Demi Hartmann for Toro Rosso on 93. Third is Baz Den Breyen on 89 for McLaren. Fourth is Hans van der Berg for Toro Rosso on 88. Fifth is Boy Williamson on 84. Sixth is Zander Hermans for Williams. 7 is his teammate Marcel Dronig, both still on the same point, 61 points. 8 is Yul Tyson for Mercedes, moved up another 2 places, was 10 last week. And then we have 9 Guido Urshan for McLaren, 10 John Donkel for Ferrari, 11 Sil de Wit, 12 Mark Stappers, 13 Peter Phillips, 14 Jamie Collane, 15 Nishay Mahadwa Singh, 16 Miguel Torney, 17 Martin Parder Cooper, 18 Paul Quaret, 19 Marcel France, and the Invisible Man is 20. Right, so Adrian, what can we say about this?
Well, Nicky Visser obviously still leading the championship. Not actually racing tonight, though, is he? He's feeling a bit under the weather, so he's going to be sitting this one out.
I think he's hurting.
Pardon?
I think his teeth are hurting.
Oh, no, his teeth.
His teeth, yes. He's been under the drill today at the dentist. So poor old Nicky, not racing. Okay, interesting. Let's. But yeah, I mean, look at him. 152 points. I mean, 57 championship points ahead. Sorry, 59. Championship points ahead of Demi Hartmann in Toro Rosso, but very close in that second, third, second down to fifth, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really close. It was really close at the last race as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's maintaining that.
Those 2 Williamses, they're both joint on points at the moment. Hopefully they can score a decent amount here. Only thing is, both the drivers are suffering a sort of bad run of form of late. There's only a few points between them. They've had 3 DNFs in their last 3 races collectively.
Yeah, no, and it's very, very close, certainly in that bottom half as well, I think, from 6 down to 10 as well. Very, very close indeed. And there's sort of 3 areas, isn't there? The top, the middle, and the sort of the end. A lot of movement still to happen. We're only on race 10, still 11 races to go after this one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, not even halfway through the season. So yeah, it's still plenty to play for. Interestingly, though, Zander Hermans, he's never scored points here at Britain, but his teammate Marcel Dronig always scores points here at Britain.
Well, that's going to be interesting. So, Constructors' Championship, and there we have the background of the new International Pit Straight with the new building there. Newer, let's put it like that. Leading the Constructors is Red Bull on 236 points. Then second, we have Toro Rosso on 181. Third are McLaren on 138. Fourth are Rocket Williams on 122. And fifth are Mercedes, progressing up there, and we'll come on that in just 1 second. 6 Ferrari, 7 the Renault, 8 Haas, 9 Alfa Romeo, and 10 is a Racing Point. Obviously, those points, 236 clear ahead there. Nicky obviously contributed a lot there, but Boy has also, I mean, let's not forget, Boy's done very well as well, so they're doing well overall. And then the sister team, Toro Rosso, on 181. It's quite impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and as you say, it's not like Boy Williamson is being carried by Nicky by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Although I imagine Red Bull will struggle to score points here, as you said. Nicky not participating at all, and Boy has never actually finished a race here at Britain.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he can break that duck, so to speak, and actually get around there. So let's have a look at the actual track itself. And there we have, this is the Silverstone circuit, and we have 18 corners, 3 sectors, obviously, as always. Race, or the lap, distance is actually 5.891 kilometres, with the total race length being 306.198 kilometres, and we're looking at 52 laps. Now, this is a very old and iconic circuit, isn't it? Well, certainly post-war, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Britain's the home of Formula One, isn't it? First Formula One Grand Prix was 1915, Great Britain.
Yep, and obviously most of the championships have been shared actually between Brands Hatch and Silverstone. I'm not too sure how that split is, because I know Brands Hatch was the premier one for quite some time. Maybe your dad could let us know on that one, Adrian.
That's right. Yeah, my dad was actually at the Brands Hatch Grand Prix. I think it was 1976 or so, something like that. I know he has been there.
In the days of good old James Hunt. He was a cad, wasn't he? Anyway, so let's have a look at these turns. So turn 1, that's Abbey Turn. Turn 2 is Farm Curve. Turn 3, Village. Turn 4 is The Loop, for obvious reasons. Turn 5 is Aintree, and that takes us into the Wellington Straight and out of Sector 1 into Sector 2. Turn 6 is Brooklands. 7 is Luffield. 8 is a Woodcott. That then takes us down the National Pit Straight. That used to be the old start-finish straight. Turn 9, the infamous Copse. And then that's followed by the even more infamous twin turns of 10-11, which is Maggots. And then the other twin turns, 12-13, of Beckett's, leading us then into Chapel, which is turn 14, out of Sector 2 into Sector 3, down the Hanger Straight, into turn 15, Stowe, then down to Vale, the chicane, the 2 turns effectively before the end. Vale there, 16 and 17, and then turn 18 is Club. 3 DRS activation and detection points. The first detection point is just before you come to turn 3, Village, and that activates down the Wellington Straight. The second DRS detection point is between Maggots and Beckett's and activates down the Hanger Straight. And then the final one activates or picks up just before you go into Vale and activates on effectively the exit of Club down the International Pit Straight. Interesting little bit of history here. If you look at Wellington Straight and you look at Hanger Straight, and you're thinking to yourself, why are they called Hanger Straight? Why are they called Wellington Straight? And you can see a few other little... It's because during World War II, Silverstone was actually an airfield. And if you look at those 2 DRS points, you can actually see the lines of the old runways.
I did not know that, Eddie. That's brilliant.
So there you go. That's what it's all about. Okay, so I've actually got a bit of an issue here because I seem to have disconnected. Let's have a quick look.
They've had to restart the lobby. I have sent you an invite.
Yep. Okay, so we've got that going now. What we're going to do now is quickly switch over. So, Adrian, if you could just run through. Are they actually started or are they just lining up still? They're lining up still, aren't they?
Yeah, lining up. Yep.
Okay, so let's have a little discussion on this track. A lot of information on there. I said to you prior to the broadcast I was going to put in the corner names, but I think it's important because this is an old, and it is, as I say, an iconic track. And, you know, you don't look at corner numbers here. You are very much naming them, aren't you?
Yeah, some very famous corners, particularly Maggots and Beckett's. That section's almost infamous, to be honest.
I mean, going round, I think if we start obviously from the start finish, turn 1, pretty straightforward right hand turn. you've got to watch your approach round farm curve, especially at the beginning of the race, because obviously there's a lot of traffic there. And then that's obvious then into turn 3, because I think turn 3 is probably the one where you're going to see, if you're going to see contact on that opening lap, it's going to be more likely at turn 3 rather than turn 1, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Turn 1, I don't expect much contact at all. Yeah, but certainly into 3 and 4, the slower sections before that first, they won't have DRS, but before that first DRS zone.
Yeah.
That's when you're going to get the bunch up.
And it's critical, isn't it? You've got to get that turn 3 right to get round 4 into 5 and then down. Brooklands, tricky turn certainly into the braking as to how you brake and actually take that. Luffield, you've got to watch your exit out of Luffield, haven't you, into Woodcorp?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you need to be patient, really, around Luffield, particularly if it's raining as well. You need to just be extra careful on that throttle coming out.
Yeah. Then as you come out of Woodcorp, you've got that national pit straight leading down to Copse. Now, Copse, it's one of those corners. It's a tricky corner. You can do it at full speed, but there are drivers who don't necessarily like to risk it. They'll maybe knock it down a gear and just give themselves a little bit more acceleration out of Copse, because it's the exit, isn't it, out of Copse? You've got to be careful that you don't go onto that runoff on the left-hand side.
Yeah, that's right. It's very easy to run wide. It hasn't actually very long been a sort of tarmac runoff area. It used to be gravel, if you remember.
Right.
Michael Schumacher famously crashing out there in '99 and breaking both his legs, I think, or one leg. He was out for the rest of the season.
He was legless.
He was legless. But he still came back towards the end of the season, was able to race again.
He was great.
But ever since then, they've made that a sort of tarmac runoff area to make it a bit more forgiving for the drivers, which personally I don't really agree with, but I can see why they've done it. Yeah,
I can understand it as well. Then we got the infamous 2 double turns of Maggots 10-11 and then Beckett's 12-13. And that atypical, I guess, sort of S that you have, I think, in all classic Formula One tracks. But this is the classic of classics, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely love those section of 5 corners there as you come into Maggots and Beckett's. It's some of the highest G-forces within quite a short period as well. It doesn't take very long to complete those corners, but they get kind of progressively tighter. There's some similar ones at Japan, the first sector of Japan, and I think they tried to replicate it at Austin, Texas as well.
I was about to say Austin, Texas. I think it's very much tried to go for a duplication on there. Then you've got that lovely exit out of Chapel, down that hanger straight, wonderful DRS. Stowe, lovely corner. If you get it right, you really got to. It is a high-speed corner, though, isn't it?
Yeah, you're doing about 140 miles an hour as you come around there, so I think it's about 220 kilometers per hour. But for me personally, I find it an absolute nightmare to actually try and get right, because it's a bit of a strange one. It's got a very late apex at that corner. I've got a tendency to hit. You don't want to be hitting the actual apex.
You want to be hitting post apex, really.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then obviously takes us down into that downhill chicane, 16, 17 Vale. Watch your exit out of 17 to wind yourself up on club. You've got to get yourself lined up on the right-hand side of that turn as you're coming down the straight to get the maximum onto the left. And it is a very technical track. I've often spoken about the rhythm of a track, and if one track needs a rhythm, it's this one, because it does have a real tune to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that rhythm is. It might be something punk-based, sort of 80s punk metal. That's what comes to mind for me at Silverstone, because it can, it just takes me by surprise all the time.
I think it's a pretty funky beat, personally, but I guess it's which way you go. Okay, so that's where we are at this moment in time. Adrian, if you could just run through our runners and riders while I get ready for the actual broadcast itself and pick that up.
Yeah, certainly, no worries. So we got both of the Mercedes drivers in tonight. Nisha Mahad was seeing and Sildervit both racing for Renault. Yul Tyson, this is only his 4th Grand Prix actually. He's won 2 of the 3 that he's raced in. Finished 7th on his debut, but he's on really great form at the moment. Obviously, we'd yet to see what he can do here at Silverstone. but yeah, I expect big things from him. His teammate, Jamie Colleen, he's also racing. He's been with us for a while now, Jamie, but never actually raced at Silverstone with us, so this will be his debut here. What else we've got? Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso, Boy Williamson, Damien Hartman as well in the other one. Hans has actually done very well in the last, in this season actually. He's never qualified outside of the top 5, apart from at Canada where he had a back start. And
it's
amazing.
Raining.
It is raining, Eddie.
It's raining.
I think that's because you said something about breaking a duck.
Yeah, maybe so. He's there. There we go. And yes, sorry to cut you there, but obviously a great film. Obviously, thank you very much, Adrian, while we do the necessary background stuff. But for wets, it's shucking it down. This is a proper summer storm here at Silverstone, isn't it?
Yeah. I expect nothing less really from great British weather. Never lets us down.
Well, we are only 13 minutes into this queue. You'll notice we have 16 drivers. Paul Poiret has had to disqualify himself due to penalties. So we are racing for 15. He will be in 16. So the drivers can treat this a little bit as a test session. Just make sure you don't stick it in the wall.
That's right. Do that and you won't be able to participate in the rest of the qualifying periods.
Yeah, so, it's going to be an interesting time. We are on board at this time with Nishay Mahadwa Singh doing a wonderful power slide, I think, through the first sector there. Oh, and loses it. Yes, unfortunately, he did lose it there. I think as he was coming around the loop, looks like. Or was that before he got to the loop? That was before he got to the loop. Oh, right. That's actually out of turn 3, Village.
Miguel Torni's off track as well. He's driving across the grass here. There, that's at Luffield, I think that is.
No, that was actually towards the end. That was the final chicane. So, that was not good from him. That was Vale and Club. It looked like he went off. Yeah,
it was,
so, Yul Tyson. Oh, look at that. Surprise, surprise. Yul Tyson has set a time already. So he set a 1:43.4. Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso has set a 1:45.2. And you can see the drivers are really all over the place on this one. Not comfortable. Boy Williamson's jumped in with a 1:43.9, 5/10 off the back of Yul Tyson at this moment in time. I don't know, do we have any idea of what the weather conditions are throughout the qualifying period and indeed the race, Adrian?
I have not had the report sent to me, so I can't tell you, which I think is a good thing. I like a bit of an element of surprise, like we saw at Austria.
Yes,
big last race.
Yes, well, that was, I was saying, Austria. I'll just get my nightcap. But I got to say, I was wrong in a major way, wasn't I?
Yes, and I have no qualms in pointing it out to you.
Yeah, that's why I said it. I thought I'd get it in before you did, Adrian. I thought, discretion being the better part of valour, basically. Let's get that in early before it gets rubbed in my face.
To your credit.
Sorry?
It doesn't happen often. You don't get many things wrong. But,
I don't know. I don't know. I think I get a lot of things wrong. I just cover it well.
Absolutely.
That's probably
really great.
That's probably the best way. Yeah, good at winging it. Okay, so let's have a look here. I mean, these guys, we have got time set on here, so let's have a look. Hans van der Berg, Zander Herms, a 1:45.6. Marcel Droning, his teammate in Williams, 1:45.8. Mark Stapper's in a Ferrari, 1:50.9. Damien Hartman in Toro Rosso, 2:04. Nishay Mahadwa Singh, 2:04.6. Martin Parder-Cooper, 2:05.9. Paul Gray, as we know, gone out. John Donkel, we're actually on board with him now. Let's actually go on board. He's coming through Maggots into Beckett's. Coming out of that now. It's not looking too bad. Just comes out of Chapel onto that hangar straight. But it is unpleasant out there. Coming around Stowe now.
Yeah, using some new equipment as well, isn't he, John?
Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. Yes, indeed. and we were going to mention this anyway, but ideal little lead in there. Thank you very much, Adrian. John racing with a new G920 steering wheel rig and pedals, which has very kindly been donated to him by the drivers in F1 Tonight Netherlands. What a fantastic thing to do. But that's because he had some issues last week, didn't he? Because we saw him stick it in the wall out of one.
Yeah, that's right. He, as you said, he put it in the wall because his equipment was failing him, and he didn't want to risk the danger or risking danger.
Hang on, let's jump in there. We are talking about the steering wheel.
We are, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just want to clarify that. Just want to clarify that before before the solicitors get on the phone.
Anyway, so to not endanger the rest of the other drivers, he decided to retire the car and was actually going to race with a pad tonight. But the other drivers, as you said, very, very kindly popped to his house and turned up with a new steering wheel for him.
Yeah, fantastic job. Obviously, we have seen this replicated in the UK League with Josh Diggles donating a wheel to Tony Foster, as he had the same issue. His wheel, it just basically went, didn't it? Right. And it's great to see this sort of camaraderie and friendship with the leagues and the respective drivers, isn't it? I mean, it really does say a lot about the league.
That's right. I mean, the F1 community, or the F1 online community, does get quite a bit of stick for being fairly toxic at times. But it's really sort of refreshing to see that that's not the case here, as indeed in many other leagues as well, of course.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, I've got to say overall, but I'm very, very impressed with our UK and our Netherlands drivers. Great, I think, great. It says a lot about the league itself. John Donkel has set a time. It's a 1:49.5. A little bit surprised about that because John's normally pretty handy in the wet. Baz and Brain is out now on a fast lap, and he's just... Oh, where is that? Yeah, that's the final stow, isn't it? He was on. Yeah, I thought that was. So into the final set of turns now, into club, onto the straight. What's he going to do? A 1:44.0. That's a good time, I've got to say. 1:44.0 there from Baz and Brian.
Yeah, not too shabby from Baz. Actually, just talking about Baz, he's actually the winner of two of the last three British Grand Prix. Actually, he's certainly my favourite to win here later on tonight.
That's interesting, I've got to say. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a track that suits his style, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I think so. I think, as you said, it's one of those tracks with a certain rhythm, and that rhythm really does. It suits Baz's style. As you said. Also, he's also had 4 pole positions here tonight. I don't know if he's going to take pole here later on. I think Yul Tyson might have something to say about that.
I don't know. I think it depends on the conditions.
It does.
I mean, I was impressed actually with Yul last week in Austria under those wet conditions. I don't think he's fazed by wet conditions, is he?
No, absolutely not. No. So, there aren't many things that do faze him, actually, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're bigging up Yul because he has, since he joined the league, just performed amazingly, really, I've got to say.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best performances from not just a new driver, but pretty much any driver I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, so great from him. We're expecting a lot from young Mr. Tyson in this race, but anything can happen, and it normally does. But I've got to say, I am sort of, I'm putting him on my favourites list for this one, both quali and race, I've got to say. Yeah,
I certainly see him on the front row, Yul. We'll see what happens with Baz. I mean, Baz, he has had 4 pole positions, and also he hasn't qualified outside of the top 3 since China.
Yeah, so he's certainly in the mix. There's no two ways about it. We are with Peter Phillips. He has set a 1:44.7. Damie Hartman, though, in the meantime, has taken that time off Yul Tyson with a 1:42.6. That's 0.8 faster than Yul. I mean, these guys obviously are starting to get a bit of a feel for it now. The rhythm is coming in.
It certainly is. Yeah, it's good stuff from Damie. You know, he's obviously a reigning champion. Although he hasn't, I'm sure he won't mind me saying this. He hasn't actually won a race since Brazil last season. Not a very good defense of his championship. I think he's in P4 at the moment in the title race.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, he's there. He's solid, and we know from last season that really. The beginning of the season, it's not really his bag, is it? Let's be fair. He's not. No. The first few races, even in season 5, they weren't really his thing. He came alive in the middle, really, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. In fact, it was at this very race. I think he took his second podium of the season here at Silverstone. It's actually his best result at Silverstone was last season with that P3. But yeah, I think this is going to be the start of his rise, we think.
Okay, well, we'll see how that happens. I mean, hopefully, we did say that last week, but I've got to say, if these conditions stick, might throw a bit of a spanner into that one.
Yeah, might do. I know, I know he doesn't actually like the France, where we raced a couple of races ago. Although, having said that, he still finished second behind Yul.
Yeah, indeed. Well, time will tell. 3 minutes of this session remaining, and all 15 drivers will go through, as Paul Quaret has disqualified himself. So we will have a full grid. Normally, in Q1, you have 20 drivers going down to 15, the 5 slowest drivers being relegated to those positions 16 to 20 respectively. In this case, obviously, it will be Paul Quaret who will be starting in that P16 position, and the remaining 15 drivers will then go through to the Q2 session, and in Q2 that 15 is reduced down to 10, the 5 slowest again being relegated out of Q2, and then the top 10 fastest going into the final Q3 to decide their final grid slots for the start of the race. Adrian, you put a lot of work in this week on having a look at driver stats, which I'm more than happy for you to jump in as and when as you have been doing with regards to that. On that basis, I'm going to go a little bit different here. I want to hear your thoughts for who's going to take pole and who's going to win the race. You sort of touched it already, but let's sort of go on that.
Yeah, well, I think based on it's really difficult, right? Because you've got one driver.
Don't start trying to talk out of it now.
Well, I'll tell you the decision that I've had to make. I have made a decision. Baz den Breyen, I don't think he'll get pole. I think Yul Tyson's faster than him on sort of outright pace based on the sort of TT times. But I think based on de Breyen's consistency or consistently high placed performances. So as I said, he's won 2 of the last 3 Grand Prix here. It's one of his favourite tracks, I do believe. I think Baz will win the race. I think Yul Tyson will be a fairly close second. So 1-2 for the quali is Tyson and de Breyen, and 1-2 for the race is de Breyen and Tyson. So the other way around.
Just watching Boy Williamson going off the track there, and I wasn't actually paying attention. I think it was in Toro Rosso, and that was actually round curve coming down towards the Wellington Straight, so out of Aintree, the loop and Aintree, so turns 4 and 5. Not too sure if there was any contact with Hans van der Berg. I think it was Hans van der Berg, was it Damien? I'm pretty sure it was Hans van der Berg, but it's definitely slippery around there. Look at that.
Yeah, Damie's drifting around Luffield.
Yeah, and Hans as well, just in behind him. Yeah, it's certainly not pleasant conditions.
I think Boy's going to lose it. he's got in real risk of putting it in the wall if he's not careful.
Yeah, and he has lost it as they were coming down into, well, that Copse turn. I don't think he actually made the Copse turn. I think he actually went off beforehand or lost it beforehand. No, great surprise on that because it's not the easiest of corners at the best of times, is it?
No, he's really aquaplaning quite badly. I think it could be a suspension issue actually for Boy, i.e. his setup, his rear anti-rolls that I frequently go on about. Need them nice and soft.
Yeah, it does make a hell of a difference, especially around this track, without any doubt at all. So the session is effectively over. We're just waiting for Boy, and he's coming into the pits. I don't know if Nishay is actually out on track. Yes, he is. Looks like he's actually, yeah, he's only in sector 1, so he's only coming round turn 3. No, sorry, I apologise. He's actually on the back, so he's coming through Maggots and Beckett's now.
Yeah, it's good to see Nishay back in the car. You know, he hasn't raced much actually in the last 3 Grand Prix. I think he's only attended one of them, and that was at France, I think it was.
Just trying to think back. Yes, he was at France. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's good to see him here. He has actually officially declared a rival. As I've been trying to get information from some of the drivers about sort of what they think of the league and who they think is their closest rival. He considers Mark Steppers to be his.
I've got to say, I think that's probably not I think that's a pretty fair assessment, actually.
Yeah, I think so. Steppers actually, he typically does very well in qualifying at this Grand Prix. In fact, he's achieved his highest ever grid slot at Silverstone in season 4. That was 3rd place. Finished 7th in that race, which again a good performance from Steppers. So I think he'll give Nisha a run for his money. I don't think it'll be easy to beat here.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I totally agree with you on that. We were talking earlier about obviously where you felt Basden Brown you felt was going to get the pole, but you felt Yul Tyson was going to get the win. That's where you were coming from, wasn't it?
Other way around.
Sorry. Yul Tyson will get the pole, but then Brown will win. I'm actually going to go with Yul. I'm actually going to go opposite. Yeah, I am actually going to go. No, I'm going to go. Actually, no. I'm going to go with Damie Hartman for pole. I'm thinking about it. Damie Hartman for pole, but Yul Tyson for the win.
Okay, that's interesting. Damie Hartman, his best finish here is 3rd place. Don't know what his best quali actually is for Silverstone, but yeah. You say Yul Tyson for the win, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, we've also got some others agreeing with you there. Ryan Leah in F1 Tonight UK has sent a message in just to say he thinks Tyson's got this in the bag pretty much, based on his time trial times. Yep.
Wow, that's interesting. I haven't actually looked at Yul's time trial times. Yeah, that might be worthwhile looking at some point. But he's just done so great progression, and I don't know. I think even more now seeing this wet weather, and I hope it actually lasts into the race, because I was very impressed with his wet weather driving last week in Austria. So yeah. I think wet weather would lend itself to him as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, as I said, he hasn't had many races here with us. This is just his 4th Grand Prix, but it's his 2nd wet race. So yeah, we're kind of seeing him. We're learning more about him with each race. So we're sort of able to make perhaps more accurate predictions, I suppose. Although, having said that, anything can happen in a race, and it frequently does.
Yes, indeed. That also reminds me of Thunderbirds. Anything can happen in the next half hour. And it does. For those of you unfamiliar with Thunderbirds, I'm going for the original version. Not
with the strings?
With the strings, not the 22nd century version. We are on board with Sil de Wit. Sil wasn't here last week in Austria, was he? No, he wasn't, was he?
I think he was.
No, he was. Didn't quite go his way, though. he doesn't like the wet, does Sil? I mean, he's shown some great form since he started in the dry, but the wet has not been a strength for him, has it?
It hasn't, no. He runs with no traction control, sort of ever, regardless of the conditions, which he immediately told me after the race that he did regret massively.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's put it on for this. I expect he probably has.
I suspect he probably has, yes. I'm inclined to agree with you there. Maybe because he is looking a little bit more assured as he comes out of Beckett's onto the straight there, the hanger straight. He's not looking too shabby. I want to see how he looks into Stowe. And, yeah, that's looking pretty good. He's on his outlap, obviously, so not quite there. I think, well, actually, should we run on board with him for his fast lap out of curiosity?
Yep, why not?
Let's give it a go. So he's just coming round club now onto the straight. That's what I said, get on that left-hand side. Obviously slightly different from braking point and turning points in the wet there. Nice round turn 1. Abbey into turn 2 now, farm curve. Round 3, village. Coming down now to turn 4, loop. Nicely done. Got to watch your entry into 5, Aintree. Good one there. Nice exit down the Wellington straight. Coming into turn 6, Brooklands, that left-hander. Again, nicely hits that apex there. Slow right down round Luffield. Oh, little bit of a twitch there, and I think he just dropped it down too far. I think he should have stayed in that 3rd gear. Out of there. Round down now the national pit straight towards Copse.
Very good first sector. 31.9.
Yeah, it's looking good. Nice exit out of Copse there. Into turn 10, 11, Maggots. Got to watch your entry into 12, 13, Beckett's here. Nice exit on the left-hand side, build up the power. Well done, sir. Good exit, certainly, out of Chapel onto that hanger straight.
42.8 in the second. It's yeah, very good again.
Into Stowe. Now dropping down towards that chicane, Vale 16, 17. Got to watch your entry to their low speed. Get that apex right round that penultimate 17. Nicely done. Round 18 club to get back onto that start-finish straight and a 1:43.6. Now that's a good time, isn't it? That is a good time.
It's good, but it's not as good as Dronig. He's gone 43.4.
Wow, Marcel Dronig there jumps in that Williams with a 1:43.4. Do you think he got a bit of help maybe on a toe?
Possibly, although
Davey Hartman's gone faster.
Yeah, Hartman's just gone 43.1. De Wit lost some time in that last sector. I don't know if you saw in the last couple of corners. He was a little bit tentative.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I say, lost half a second. But yeah, great stuff from Damie and indeed from Marcel Dronig.
John Donkel, a little bit better there now, 1:45.3. Miguel Torni is on the side of the track, spun out. He did set a 1:46.2. Got to watch, obviously, as he comes back on. And that was out of turn 3 there that he clearly went for a bit of a spin out of village. Boy Williamson sets a 1:51. Sure, he's not going to be too happy with that. Nishay hasn't actually set a time as yet. He is on a fast lap now, I believe. Looks like he's coming down now. Ooh, yeah, not great. 2:04.5. Yul Tyson still in the pits. Hans van der Berg is out on track. What's he going to do? 1:44.0 from Hans van der Berg. Good run there. What was that? Oh, that was Nishay going off track there. Oh, and he's been disqualified
for going the wrong way.
Yeah, he's been disqualified for going the wrong way. Oh, dearie me. Nearly causes a little bit of a collision there with Tammy Hartman, I think that was. Yeah. So Nishay is out. He will be starting in... oh, that's interesting. P14, but we did have 15 drivers coming through, so we've lost a driver somewhere along the way.
I think one probably crashed out in Q1 that we didn't see.
Oh, no, we did see it. Yeah, we did see it actually. I'm just trying to remember who that was now, but it will come to me. Sander Hermans, he's out on track at this moment in time. He's just coming into the penultimate turn 17 round there, into club now, onto that straight. Doesn't set a time, so he's going to have to go again. Oh, dearie me.
Oh, was it Partycooper that we lost?
Yes, it was.
That's a shame because Partycooper's actually qualified 13th in his last 3 races, and his last race at Britain was actually season 4. He wasn't in last season's race. Do you know where he qualified in Britain the last time he raced?
I don't know, Adrian. Where did he qualify last time he raced in Britain?
Funny enough, 13th as well.
Really?
Yeah. So that particular streak, perhaps an unlucky streak, has been broken.
Well, it is the 31st. It is All Hallows Eve. So that 13 jinx has been broken by the Halloween wish, I guess.
Perhaps they has. Shame that he crashed out, though. I would have liked to have seen what he can do, pace-wise in his qualifying.
Well, I'm just going to, we'll just see what happens. I just want to see if it stays like this through to the actual race itself. It's going to be very, very interesting if it does. Okay, so no drop zone time as yet set. 1:49.7 is the closest at the moment from Miguel Torner. Yul Tyson is now on a fast lap, coming round, just set his out lap. Let's stay with him. And he's at the moment, he did great obviously in that Q1 session, so he was in the garage, hasn't come out as yet. What do you expect from him? I'm thinking it's going to be, I think it's going to be a 1:43 actually. I don't think he's going to get into the 1:42 just yet.
What, Tyson? No, I expect him to be up there at 42.7. He might go top in this session. Remains to be seen, but I think he'll be certainly right up there.
I think he'll be up there, but I don't know if he's going to be in that 1:42. I've got to say, I think opening lap.
Perhaps not.
Loses it! Oh, watch that! Oh, dearie me! Yeah. Front wing damage on the left there, taking out the end plate and a number of the winglets. And that was as he was coming round Stowe.
You've got to ask,
do
Eddie,
you believe in the commentator's curse? That was a bit Roger Moore-ish, actually.
That was a bit. And I told you my answer to that already. Yes.
This is All Hallows. Excuse me, I'm just having my Halloween celebrations here.
As I was saying, you've got to ask yourself after that, will that knock his confidence?
No, I don't think so. I think he knew he was just taking it a little bit too hard into Stowe, to be brutally honest. And I don't think he was getting the feel of the track, and he was just pushing that little bit more. Obviously, he did well in that Q1 session. I think he just pushed it a little bit too hard. And I'm sure he's absolutely aware of what he did and how, where he went wrong on that one. Lucky he didn't take out that front wheel though, got to say, especially in these wet conditions.
Yeah. I mean, I think he eventually hit the wall and it was only doing about 15 or 20 miles an hour, but it's still possible to break that wheel off if you're at the wrong angle, or indeed the whole wing. Sometimes you can retire from
He did seem to adjust.
That.
He did seem to adjust to try and make sure that he had a front impact rather than a side impact.
Yeah, I think that's all he could do at that moment, and he's done well to escape. Not necessarily unscathed, but he's able to fight again. I
would suspect it's probably going to be a couple of minutes, only a front wing change there. He's going to look to try and get out as soon as he can. So I'm sure we will see another run from him, although it will be probably a little bit more cautious, let's say. But at this moment in time, Boy Williamson still leading away. Damie Hartman second, Marcel Dronig third, Sil de Wit fourth, Sander Hermans fifth, Hans van der Berg sixth, 7 is Bas den Bruijn, 8 Mark Stappers, Peter Phillips 9, John Donkel is in 10. He's coming out of the pits. Is he coming into the pits or is he coming out? No, he's coming out of the pits. Jamie Collane is out on track at the moment in that second Mercedes. Miguel Torney as well. Yul Tyson in the pits, but coming out now as well. So the drop zone time, we are looking at a 1:45.3, and that's John Donkel. John needs to pull out the stops now, doesn't he? He needs to better that time, because I'm sure that Yul Tyson will. And I've got to say, I think Jamie Collane in with a good chance as well.
Yeah, I expect Jamie Collane to be certainly in the the top 10 shootout. I think he'll probably he'll probably qualify about 7th or 8th position. But John needs to set a good lap now, because he's running out of time to do that. I think hopefully he's had enough time to sort of familiarise himself with his new setup, new equipment.
Yeah, that's true, because that obviously is a contributing factor, isn't it?
Yeah, just feeding his way around. But hopefully he can, put his previous experience to use and set that good lap.
Well, coming round now is Jamie Collane towards the closing stages. Round Vale 16-17 into the final turn 18 club, onto that start-finish straight. And it's not a great run, I've got to say. 1:59 hasn't bettered his 1:45.8 as it stands at this moment in time. John Donkel now coming round Stowe.
As John starts his hot lap, just want to say about him, actually, he has never finished lower than 6th place. I know that might be in some danger, bearing in mind that the new peripherals that he's using. But he's also never finished lower than he started. So I think even if he doesn't do well here in quali, I think there's still lots to be gained in the race for him.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment he can breathe a little bit more of a sigh of relief. Obviously, Jamie Collane doesn't better that time. Yul Tyson is actually on his fast lap now, I believe. So we'll cut to that. I don't think he's not ahead, John, is he? I don't think so.
He's not, though.
Yeah, he is.
Jamie is.
Yes,
Jamie's coming into Maggots, sorry.
Yeah, Yul Tyson. Yul Tyson is ahead.
Yep.
So Yul Tyson is ahead of John Donkel at this moment in time. So he's just onto the national straight now.
Apologies.
That's okay. I thought he was. I wasn't too sure where he was sitting. Oh, goes very wide. Very, very wide indeed. As he comes round Copse into Maggots now. Beckett.
Good sector from Tyson. Not the fastest, but certainly up there. Top 3.
Yeah, round Chapel now onto that straight, Hanger straight. Little bit of a twitch.
That is a good middle sector. That's some 0.3 faster than Boy at the top.
It looked like John Donkel went very wide out of Chapel onto the rough, actually. He was coming onto the Hanger straight. We'll see how that's affected his time. But nice and neat round Vale.
John's on a slow lap. John's in.
Club.
John's in the pit.
Yeah. Yul Tyson, a 1:41.9. Look at that. He didn't get a 1:43. He didn't get a 1:42. He's just got a 1:41.9.
Yeah, well, as I said, I knew he'd be up there. I didn't think he'd be that much faster than the rest of the grid. Although this is only Q2, so being top here doesn't stick you on the front of the grid of the race. But it's certainly positive.
It's a good measure, though. It certainly sort of gives you an idea. Time is done, so in the drop zone, and John Donkel does not get through. So John Donkel will be starting row 6, P11 in that Ferrari. Alongside him will be the Mercedes of Jamie Collane in P12. Row 7, P13 will be Miguel Torney. And in 14, alongside him will be Nishay Mahadwa Singh. And in row 8, we have Mark Stappers in the Ferrari in 15, and Paul Poiret in the Haas will be 16. So, Our top 10 soon starting. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, yeah, and a good stuff from Peter Phillips as well. He's got himself into Q3. Normally does fairly well here, actually. Achieved his career best finish in season 5. Finished 6th place. But yeah, good to see Boyd Williamson as well up there, P2. He was sliding around quite a lot in Q1. I wondered if he had the wrong setup. It turned out he hasn't, as he would not have been able to set that time if he did. Boyd Williamson, incidentally, never qualified higher than 10th place here in Britain. So he's got a great opportunity to break that particular duck.
And do you think he's going to?
I think he will, actually. I think based on what we've seen here in this Q2, yeah, you have to say he's a favourite for perhaps even pole position.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. I mean, Damie Hartman, I did call. He's currently sitting 3rd, but it's all a question of whether we stay with these wet conditions. I've got to say, at the moment, it looks as if we're going to, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
He's 4th, Damie. Yeah. So Damie is 4th there, and as I said, the Peter Phillips starting 11, row 6. John Donkel, I say to him in 12s. 7, Miguel Torney, 13, and Nishem Huddleston in the Renault will be P14. 15, Mark Stapper, 16, Paul Poiret. Okay, so we've got top 10s there. Both Toro Rossos are through, and I think they're the only ones that are actually teamed up, aren't they, in the top 10? Yes. And the Williams, yeah, sorry, Toro Rossos and the Williams.
Williams as well, yeah. Yeah, perhaps the Williams are back on form now.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't really lost form as such. It's just that the other guys just seem to have sort of jumped ahead of them. I mean, the introduction of those new drivers has just made a hell of a difference to overall, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's really shaking things up, with Silverstone and certainly, Yul Tyson. They're just the latter in particular really stomping his foot down in making himself known to the rest of the league, and he's already declared quite publicly that he is aiming for the championship title come the end of the season.
Well, we've got to say, every opportunity, 11 races remaining, including this one. So haven't even, just about halfway mark, effectively, so it can certainly be done. I think Sil de Wit's going to be the first man out on track in the Renault. Always keen to get out as quickly as he can, is Sil.
Oh, Jamie Collins made it through.
Oh, he has?
Well, he's showing his 8th at the moment. Yeah, he must have set a lap right at the end there while I was talking about Boy.
Yes, because when I was looking through there, because John Donkel, that's why I was a bit surprised. John Donkel in that P11 place, and that's why, obviously.
Yeah, and that means that Peter Phillip is not P10. Peter Phillip is P11.
Yeah,
he did not get through.
So Zander Hermans has left the session. He might be having some technical issues there. Hopefully he'll be able to come back in. If he does, he should be able to get back in his car, shouldn't he? Yes,
he will, absolutely. Yeah.
So we are on board at the moment with Sil de Wit, first man out on track, and looking far more confident in these wet conditions than he did last week in Austria.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we think that it's probably because he's now got traction control turned on, as he normally does not have it on at all, even in heavy rain.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
He hasn't said so much that he's actually turned it on. He has not told me that. It's just my assumption based on his reaction.
He probably has, race. But he's not going to tell us. He's going to tell us afterwards. Nah. Traction control was off. I went hardcore.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt, shall we? Let's presume it's not on.
I have a sneaking suspicion it is, though. I don't think it's full on, but it's certainly there, certainly active. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see him in this Q3 session. It's a good opportunity for him to show what he can do here. As I said, he's not been with us too long, so he's not raced at Silverstone before with us.
And I think a number of the drivers are having some connection issues. Hopefully they'll be able to come back in. All the drivers in this session are anyway. The drivers that are have already gone out. So hopefully we won't have any issues carrying forward. If we do, then obviously we'll let you know. But at this moment in time, Sil de Wit is out on track for his fast lap and his final Q3 session to decide the top 10 grid positions. All so important here. Lovely power slide. I think that was round Brooklands as he comes into Luffield now. Nice and clean round Luffield, I've got to say. That's looking good. On to the National Straight now.
Boy Williamson fastest in the first sector though.
Into Copse, that's looking tidy.
Tyson second fastest.
Maggots. Into Beckett's now. It's looking tidy, say, out of Chapel. He's looking, it may not necessarily be the fast, but it's looking tidy, and normally if it's tidy, it's fast.
Yep, true. It's a 42.4 in the middle for him, 42.5 from Boy, 42.7 from Damie Hartman, and it's a 42.3 from Yul Tyson in that middle sector.
So if you can shout out who's behind Sil, so I can jump to them once he sets his lap.
Yeah, it'll be Boy, then Damie, then Yul.
So, Boy coming around now. Sil sets a 143.0. Boy Williamson coming around now, sets a 142.7. Yul Tyson coming around now. Damie sets a 143.3. Yul Tyson, look at that, 142.2. Very close between these guys.
That second half of the circuit, he's got that completely nailed down. He's just absolutely flying through that. Wasn't the fastest through the first sector, but yeah, I mean he's
Denbrain coming over now. 142.6 from Denbrain puts him at the provisional P2.
Yeah.
And this is looking good though, I've got to say.
Well, my prediction likes it.
So does mine. Not. Come on, Jamie. We are on board at the moment with Mark Stappers. Coming down now. Round Vale. Into Club. And what can he do?
First sector from Damie.
Oh, it's his opening lap anyway, so that's okay. It's his fast lap now.
So yeah, it's purple first sector from Damie at the moment.
Come on, Jamie!
It's coming down Hanger Straight.
Come on, Jamie! You can do it!
Second sector time's a 42.8. That's half a second off of Yul Tyson.
Got it nicely nailed round Stowe now, coming down.
Oh, he's in. Yeah, middle sector was slower than his personal best, so he's not going to waste any time by completing that lap and then having to go around again.
Just watching Mark Stappers really power sliding round Brooklands there. That was wonderful to see. Take it easy on the exit of Luffield now onto the National Straight. Oh, he's pulling over. He's not. He's letting oh, right, okay. So he's letting the Williams pass there. I think that's Sander Herman. Oh, was it Jamie Collane? Was it? Oh, right. I thought it was the Williams. Couldn't quite see through that mist. What is that helmet that Jamie Collane is wearing? It looks seriously odd. It looks like a Predator or something.
I think it's one of the new Halloween helmets.
Oh, it's a pumpkin.
Is it a pumpkin?
Yeah, that's it. It did look a bit bizarre, I've got to say, but at least it's orange. Matches his national emblem, I guess you could say.
Indeed, it looks quite menacing as well.
It does. Look at that. You look at that. That does look rather scary. It does. It does look like a proper pumpkin head.
Yeah. Wouldn't see that in your mirrors, would you?
You would not want to see that in your mirrors. Maybe that's what Jamie's going for. He's going for, I'll scare the living daylights out of them. That does look rather menacing. And it's even got the stalk on top. That's wicked.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, and Pumpkinhead loses it as he was coming into Brooklands there. Oh, no, it wasn't. Sorry, that wasn't in Brooklands. That was actually on the exit of Village, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the loop, sorry. It was the exit of the loop. No, it was Village because he spun round. That's right, yeah, it was Village. Before he got onto the straight there. Obviously, listening to the broadcast, you can always tell the drivers that are listening to the broadcast, can't you?
Oh, he's absolutely listening to the broadcast. He got annoyed that we didn't pick up that he actually made it through to Q3, because as I was talking about, boy.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
he got through just at the death.
God, honestly, they're a bunch of prima donnas, these drivers, aren't they?
Some of them.
Ah, all of them. What are you talking about?
Dronig, I think Dronig's on a hot lap at the moment, just coming around Stowe Corner. This is an improvement of the laps that he's done so far, although none of them have been valid.
No, he's not. He's actually on the first. He's coming around Luffield now.
Is that not Club? No, you're right.
No, sorry, you're right. It's Club. Sorry, I do apologise. Sorry, Club. Sorry, I do apologise. Yeah, set to 1:43.1. Very respectable. Puts him up into that third row, P5. So a good run there from Marcel Dronig. Damie Hartman is on an outlap. Hans van der Berg, Sil de Wit, Bas den Bruin and Yul Tyson. Zander Herman's coming round. The National pit straight. Oh, sorry, no, it's not the National. Yeah, it is the National, sorry. Into Club. Not Club, what am I saying? Oh my God, Stowe, not Stowe. Cops. To Maggots now. Through Beckett's. Oh, I've got to say, those are my Achilles heels of turns, Maggots and Beckett's on this track.
Yeah.
When I get it right, it's beautiful. When I get it wrong, it's just, oh God.
Already it's a new purple first sector for Damie Hartman, currently P6.
Oh, looking good.
It's a 31.6. It's some 2/10 faster than the second fastest of Tyson.
Well, Herman's coming round Club now. Let's see what he can do. 1:42.7 puts him into that second row, provisional P3. Damie Hartman we are with now as he comes into Maggots.
Williams is back on it, aren't they?
Beckett's, yeah, definitely Williams back on there. Round Chapel now onto the Hanger Straight. Into Stowe.
It's an improvement for Damie in the middle, but it's still 3/10 down on Yule. Could be on for P3.
Let's have a look. He can make it here if he gets this right. On the exit of Vale, it's approaching to Club, and I think he's got a good one there. Oh, 1:42.8. Oh, still leaves him in that third row, P5.
Yeah, it's very tight between second and sixth, really.
Oh, we've got a yellow flag. And Mark Stappers gets in with 1:45. Hans van der Berg. I think that's it. There is somebody on a fast lap, but I can't remember who it is. I think it might be Zander Hermans, actually.
It's Hans van der Berg, I think, is on a fast one now.
So let's have a look. Van der Berg. Yeah, out of Chapel now. Coming down the Hanger Straight. Into Stowe. How's Van der Berg looking?
Good, but not great. I don't think he's going to keep his streak up of qualifying in the top 5 every race this season. I think that streak's over, unfortunately.
Well, he's into Club now. Oh, 1:43.1. Oh, puts him in that P7.
And Yul Tyson sets a 1:41.6.
Look at that. 1:41.6 from Yul Tyson. Provisional pole at this moment in time. Then Brian is coming round now. What can he do?
It's not an improvement in the first sector. I think that's it.
Well, he's round Cops now. Let's see what he can do on this.
I don't think he's going to... I don't think he's going to be gaining a second.
I don't think he will. So then Brian coming down the hanger straight now under the bridge. Approaching Stowe. He's not going for it, is he? He's let somebody else go past there. Yeah, that's it. Boy Williamson is going to be finishing in that P2, it looks like, at this moment in time, alongside Yul Tyson on that front row. Then Brian is going to be in the second row, P3, alongside Zander Hermans. Then row 3, P5, Dami Hartman, alongside him, Sil de Wit in the Renault. Row 4, P7, Hans van der Berg. Alongside him will be the Williams and Marcel Dronig. And then in row 5, P9 will be Jamie Collane. And Mark Stappers in the Ferrari will be 10. So the Ferrari's not having a good qualifying session.
No, not
Stappers
particularly.
obviously in the top 10 at least, but Donkel, he's going to be disappointed with that.
Yeah, Donkel will be disappointed, but yeah, as I said earlier on, he's never finished behind where he started. He's always finished above where he started here at Silverstone, and Stappers as well. I think Stappers might be more disappointed. He's typically much better than this at Silverstone. As I said, got his career best of 3rd place here. I had him down for about a 6th place start.
I think conditions though have played a major factor in that, though. To be fair,
yeah, big time. Boy Williamson though, he's the one that's impressed me the most. And credit to him, because I know he is a fast driver. He has had wins, but he's never had a performance like this at Silverstone before. He's never been higher than 10th place in quali, and he's never finished a race here. So hopefully his form will continue through to the next session.
Well, hopefully so. Let's see. So there we have it. Yul Tyson in the Mercedes has got pole position here for race 10 of season 6 at Silverstone. Alongside him in P2 will be Boy Williamson. Row 2, P3, Basden Brown in the McLaren. And alongside him, Zander Hermans in the Williams. Row 3, P5, last season's winner, season 5, Dami Hartman in Toro Rosso is in 5. Alongside him, Sil de Wit in the Renault. Row 4, Hans van der Berg is going to be in P7 in Toro Rosso. Alongside him will be Marcel Dronig in the Williams. And then row 5, Jamie Collane is in P9. And alongside him will be Mark Stappers in the Ferrari. And we, I believe, have dry conditions. Yes, we do.
Yeah, wouldn't call it bright sunshine, but...
It's not bright sunshine, but it's British summer. And that just, don't need to say anything else really after that.
There we go. Who knows what's going to happen?
Well, yeah, that is true. Yeah, who does know what's going to happen? Anyway, we are with the drivers there getting themselves readied up. Yul Tyson did take that pole, so you're right on that prediction. I'm just hoping that my second prediction comes right, but I've got a feeling it will, especially with Yul sitting on that pole position.
Yeah, I mean, he was a full second faster than Basden Brian, who has won here twice, at least. But yeah, he's certainly faster in his 1 lap pace. But I'm sure he will be extremely fast in his race pace. He's notorious in the 3 races that we've seen from him. Notorious.
Does your qualifying setup come into play here though? Because obviously wet conditions. Your setup's going to be quite different to dry conditions. And are you going to be driving, maybe you're thinking, okay, I had to turn the traction control off, but can he turn the traction, he had to turn the traction control off. Can he turn it off for the race?
You're allowed to do that because it's a driver aid rather than a setup change. So
what about
you are
setups though? Do you think the guys may have compromised on their setups during quali, being that it was wet, or what would you think?
Possibly. They may have opted for a wet setup during quali if they are aware that a portion of the race is also going to be wet, which I would have to say odds on that is probably is the case. In which case, I'd imagine some of the drivers will be slower. The ones that were very quick in the wet quali may be slower in the drier conditions, but then when the rain comes again, they'll be the favourites.
Well, we will see what happens at this moment in time. I know that some guys did have some connection issues, so I'm not too sure if that has come into play at all.
Doesn't look like it. I think we've still got the 16 drivers on that list on the right. There's 15 drivers there.
So some of the drivers are now starting to ready up.
Oh, got no game sound. There we go, it's come back.
Oh, it has it? Okay, I'm not too sure whether I've got it or not. So let's quickly run through these guys then and go on the processional lap. Yul Tyson is leading the way. He's in first place. Alongside him will be Boy Williamson in the Red Bull. And why have I got Hans van der Berg 4 in third place? Oh, sorry, Sander Hermans.
Sander Hermans, yeah, third place is actually completely missing.
Yeah, that's a bit bizarre. Okay, so Sander Hermans. Then P5, we have Damie Hartman.
Boy Williamson's gone off.
P6, we have Sil de Wit.
I have a feeling Adidas Session's being restarted.
I think it has, yeah, I think it is as well, actually, because this doesn't look right. For some unknown reason, P3 has just totally disappeared.
Yeah, a little bit strange.
That's
I've not
very
seen that.
odd. Yeah, we've got drivers leaving the session. Okay, that's a shame.
Well, the silver lining of this is that you won't have that issue where the drivers have to use the same tyres that they used in Q2, because Q2 was of course wet. So there's no issue with it's now unfair because now everyone's on fresh tyres, because they already were on fresh tyres.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do in the meantime, though. I'm just going to switch across to something that one of our drivers has compiled for this season. I hope you enjoy it, and in the meantime, we should get everything back up and running. Got that wrong. Right, let's do that. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. F1 tonight, Season 6 Canadian. Pressure there from Gary McKinney in that McLaren. Then we've got Phil Harris has really jumped up to 6. Do you honestly believe in the commentator's curse? F1 Tonight Season 6 Canadian. Pressure there from Gary McKenny in that McLaren. Then we've got Phil Harris has really jumped up to 6. Seriously, do you honestly believe in the commentator's curse? F1 Tonight Season 6 Canadian. Pressure there from Gary McKenny in that McLaren. Then we've got Phil Harris has really jumped up to 6. Seriously, do you honestly believe in the commentator's curse? Seriously, do you honestly believe in the commentator's curse? The start of this F1 Tonight Season 6 Canadian. Pressure there from Gary McKinney in that McLaren. They've got Phil Harris has really jumped up to 6. Seriously, do you honestly believe in the commentator's curse? Start of this F1 Tonight Season 6 Canadian. Pressure there from Gary McKinney in that McLaren. They've got Phil Harris has really jumped up to 6. Just to give you a quick update, we are experiencing issues, but we will be underway very shortly. Sorry for the wait. Don't go away. Go and get yourself a quick drink and something to nibble on, because I can guarantee you this is going to be one scare. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Apologies for that hold up there, but as you can tell, we had a few technical issues. Not from our side, I've got to say. It is from the server side. So, thank you very much indeed, Codemessers. We really appreciate the great work that you're doing now. It's unfair. I know you've got a lot of work on your plate, guys, but please, 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 if we could get these multiplayer issues sorted out, it would be fantastic for the leagues and league racing to promote the esports motorsport of F1 and indeed the real world motorsport of F1. So we will be getting underway shortly, and we will run through the drivers on their processional lap. Drivers have connected now, so it's just a question of them readying up. I said it's going to be a scary race, Adrian. What do you think?
Well, even I'm scared now when you say it like that. Yeah, I'm scared about what the weather is likely to do. Typically does. I wouldn't say it chucks it down here, but when it does rain, it does pour, and it's really sort of variable.
It's very, and not only that, we're not seeing bright sunshine. I can see a bit of a break in the cloud, bit of blue sky over the grandstand there. But other than that, it looks pretty patchy, pretty grey. And knowing the British weather, as one does, I would suspect that we are very likely to have rain during the race. How long for, what the severity of it will be, but I suspect that we will have it.
Yeah, you can pretty much count on it.
What about safety car?
Yep, I think that's highly likely as well. Same reason, really, as well. It's probably going to be at the times when it's just going from wet to dry or dry to wet. It just catches drivers unawares a bit.
Well, safety car certainly is not an unknown here. Let's put it like that. So, leading the way is going to be Yul Tyson in that Mercedes. He's in P1. And then alongside him, we have Boy Williamson in the Red Bull. P3 is Baz and Brian in the McLaren. Alongside him is going to be Zander Hermans in the Rocket Williams. P5 is Demi Hartman in the Toro Rosso. Alongside him is going to be Sil de Witt in the Renault. Then we have his teammate, or rather Dami's teammate, Hans van der Berg. He's in P7. He's going to be alongside Marcel Dronig in the Rocket Williams in P8. In P9, we have Jamie Collane in the second Mercedes. Alongside him is going to be the Ferrari of Mark Stappers. And then behind, well, we've got Peter Phillips in the Haas. He's in P11. John Donkel in the second Ferrari would be alongside him in P12. P13, we have Miguel Torni in the Alfa Romeo. And then alongside him, we've got the Renault of Nishay Mahadwa Singh. In P15, we then have Martin Parder-Cooper in the second Alfa Romeo. And alongside Martin is going to be bringing up P16, Paul Quaret in the Haas. 16 runners starting this race. How many of these will get through to the end? Only time will tell, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. Baz de Bruijn, he maintained his streak of qualifying in the top 3.
Oh, that's right. I was just looking at you Tyson greyed out, but then I suddenly realised they're coming around to the start-finish, that's why. Oh no, he has greyed out. Where's Baz de Bruijn? I can't see the other guys.
Yeah, no, that's just something that happens sometimes at the, when they're on the grid, yeah.
Breathe easy, breathe easy, Ed, breathe easy. Okay, so the drivers are now lining up. This is F1 tonight, Netherlands. This is season 6. Race 11 here at Silverstone. As we get underway for the start of this race, the lights are on and we are off for the start of this F1 tonight British Grand Prix. As Yul Tyson leads the way, Boy Williamson is really pushing him. Baz de Bruijn is in the back. Oh, Yul goes wide there. Real fight there with Baz de Bruijn. Sander Hermans goes off into the wall. Oh, dearie me. Sander Hermans is out, but let's get back onto these guys ahead. Yul Tyson still leads the way. Bill Williamson second. Baz de Bruijn is now in third, but he's under a lot of pressure from season 5 veteran Damie Hartman, and Toro Rosso breaks away from him as they're coming down the Wellington Straight towards Brooklands. They're side by side. Oh, is he going to? Bruijn goes wide there. Oh, but he's still on the inside. He's got the advantage, but Damie Hartman holds him off as they come round Luffield now onto the national pit straight. And wow, what a fight there between Damie Hartman and Baz de Bruijn. Baz de Bruijn trying to come back as they come round Kops, not able to. Hans van der Berg is in 5th, Marcel Dronig 6th, 7th, Jamie Culhane, 8 Stapper's up 2, John Dunkel's up 3 to 9, Paul Quaret is up 7 places to P9.
Yul
Tyson's out. Yul Tyson has crashed, and that's into maggots.
I wonder if he did have a wet setup on. It's not suited.
Yeah, and Yul Tyson has gone out. Oh, dearie me, it's all happened here on this opening lap, hasn't it? Boy Williamson is now leading the way. Damie Hartman second, then Bruijn third, Hans van der Berg fourth, Dronig 5, 6 is Culhane. But look at this. I mean, all the drivers progressed there, but Paul Quaret up 8 places.
Absolutely fantastic stuff from Quaret. And the likes of indeed Jamie as well, Jamie Culhane up to P7, kept himself out of trouble. But Martin Paardenkoper is leading this race. Is that right?
No.
Yeah, respect to Paardenkoper. I'm showing Paardenkoper as my race leader.
This race.
Yeah, I know. I've definitely got. Oh, there we go. He's now gone back to P40. That's a strange glitch.
Yeah, it is a bit of a strange one, that. I've had that happen to me before, actually, if you recall, on a race that we were on. And it does throw you out somewhat.
But nonetheless, Boy Williamson is leading a race that he's never finished before. Commentators curse, hashtag.
Hashtag, yeah. Hashtag commentators curse, Yul Tyson.
I shouldn't say too much because, I race for Red Bull as well.
Do you know what? At this rate, we'll just shut up and we'll just say, yeah, they're going around the track.
Yeah.
Very fast.
It's for the best.
Very fast. They're going around the track again. Even faster.
But look, everyone there in the top 10 has gained positions, including John Dunkel as well, importantly.
They have, and whilst I've been looking at position changes, and as you say, everyone has, we haven't seen what the tyre choice is, and this is going to be interesting. Okay, so top 4 are on mediums. Dronig is on a set of soft tyres. Jamie Culhane medium, Stappers, Quaret, Tawney on soft, Dunkel, De Witt on mediums, and then the rest of the remaining field are on the soft. Pretty much a 50-50 split there on the tyre choice.
Oh, Paul Quaret's crashed. He spun off, sorry.
He spun off, but he has not crashed. He is stuck in the wall and he can't. Yeah, he's got no front wing. And that looks to me like that was the Wellington Straight. I don't know.
Oh, then Jamie Culhane. We've lost Jamie Culhane.
Yeah, Jamie Culhane's gone out at maggots.
So that's both Mercedes crashing out at maggots on the first 3 laps.
Was it maggots? No, it wasn't. No, sorry, Jamie Collane actually seemed to go out on the end of the start-finish straight into turn 1, I think.
Oh, yeah, into 1. A corner that we said earlier on where not very much really happened, incident-wise.
It doesn't. I don't know what the situation was, whether he was alongside somebody. But, yeah, I mean, you can be overconfident into 1, I think. You've got to be careful. You've got to hit it right on that apex and hit that rumble strip right. Otherwise, it can throw you off as you're trying to sort of turn into 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it can indeed.
So it could be that he just got caught wrong-footed on that one. But, well, what can I say? Both the Mercedes are out of this British Grand Prix here. Yeah,
absolutely didn't expect that at all.
Certainly not, and the Brain sets the fastest provisional time with a 1:33. Boy Williamson is leading the way, but he has got Davey Hartman breathing very hard and very fast down the back of his neck. Look at this as they're coming round the loop in sector 1 now, into Aintree, onto that Wellington straight, and only 3/10 between them.
Yeah. And what you've got to remember as well is all 3 of these are seasoned veterans, as Damien Hartman looks at the move on Boy Williamson there into Lovefield. But yeah, all 3 are seasoned veterans. All 3 have won races in the past, and in fact Damien Hartman has won Drivers' Championships, and Baz de Breen has won Constructors' Championships every season since F1 Tonight began.
Yeah, nicely all 3 round cops there coming now into the Beckett's sector. We're riding on board with Baz de Breen because you get a great idea of the run and the cars ahead as well, obviously. As they exit Chapel now.
Oh, sorry, Stappers has spun the car out of cops.
Dear, so Stappers having to recover, come back onto the track there, but these guys so close, all running on the mediums as well. We are expecting a 2-stop on this, aren't we, Adrian?
Yes, I'd imagine so. Yep. God, this is really throwing me up because Parker Cooper keeps occasionally showing as leading the race.
Yeah, that's the same glitch I've had.
Okay.
So you're going to have to live with that one and just ignore it, I'm afraid, my mate.
Yeah. Mahadrichen's just passing Peter Phillips. This is battle for P10 with the last championship
and
point.
Phillips actually takes the place back from him.
Yeah, defended well.
Yeah.
Again, Phillips is another seasoned veteran. You know, you don't often see him at the sort of very front of the race. You know, career best finish.
I think season 5 he performed very well here at Silverstone as well. I think Silverstone is just one of those tracks for him.
That's right, yeah. P6 he was at Silverstone last year.
I did that without looking at the crib sheet, by the way, Adrian.
Very good. Just from memory. Brilliant.
I may be old, but I'm not that old.
Oh, got a driver off ahead of him. That was Mark Stappers going off at just coming on to
the Wellington straight.
Wellington straight. Sorry,
yeah.
Again, the name of the straight.
That's all right. There's so many of them, mate. I'm struggling sometimes. But yeah, we are on board Nishay Mahadwar-Singh, and you can see Peter Phillips just ahead of him, and then John Donkel and Mark Stappers, the 2 Ferraris as well. And Peter Phillips is really hassling John Donkel at this moment in time, isn't he?
Yeah, it's encouraging for him to see that he's got this pace here, and you know this is an opportunity for him to show what he can do with it now that he's got it.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming onto the hangar straight now.
Oh, we've got past. De Witt.
De Witt has just gone past Miguel Tordi.
Yep.
And that's as they were coming into Cops. So Sil De Witt gets ahead of Miguel Tordi.
Parker Cooper is showing his lost connection. He's driving his AI at the moment, rapidly dropping places.
Yeah, he has dropped down to 13.
Tordi's just scraped the back of his car there.
And that was round 1.
Actually lost a piece.
So, still looking very, very tight. Obviously, we've got a bit of a break here to Sil De Witt in P6. He's 15 seconds behind Marcel Dronig, but Dronig only 2 seconds, just under 2 seconds off Van der Berg. Van der Berg equally same distance off than Brain, and Brain only 5/10 off the back of Hartman, who has been closer, but Hartman has dropped back a little bit from Boy Williamson, hasn't he? Because he's 1.2 behind him now. Is that because he's defending? I think because he's probably aware he's got De Bruyne behind him. He's concentrating on the defence rather than the attack at this moment.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you can only push sort of very hard for so long until you have to start sort of saving the ERS again and thinking about the long run. So I think that's what we're seeing here. Also, backing off will give Damie an opportunity to get out of Boy's dirty air. Although, yes, it will put him under pressure from Baz, which won't be nice.
No, and certainly, but Baz has been applying that pressure for some time now. He's been up close and personal for some time, so it's not too bad. At this moment in time, let's have a quick look here, because Stappers is challenging Phillips.
That's it.
And we've also got Nishay Mahadwa Singh in the mix there, because they're coming round Cops. That's a little bit of a free-for-all going on there, I think.
Yeah, Stappers and Phillips actually yo-yoed over through the last few corners. They've switched positions a few times on that lap. So they're out of Vale into Club now, onto the start-finish straight. Peter Phillips in P9, just ahead of Nishay Mahadwa Singh, who we're riding on board with, and ahead of him is Mark Stappers. And then Donker's lost it. Sorry, Donker's lost it at turn 1.
He has. Oh, misses the gravel there. Now that was lucky. That was very, very lucky indeed. He could easily have panned it. Joins the track now on that pit exit, round 2. But yeah, that was a close call.
Yeah, just lost control round 1. The back end just swung out.
Oh, Stappers locks up round Brooklands. Oh, dearie me! And he's gone out. I think who's he been T-boned by? Somebody T-boned him.
We'll have a look at that. Caught a little bit of that on the.
Yeah, did. Stappers goes out. Stappers came across. I think it was Paul Quaret. I think it was Paul Quaret. I'm not too sure though. And he's got no damage on his front wing. Could it have been Peter Phillips? I'm pretty sure it was a Haas though. Yeah. Peter Phillips has got front right damage. Oh dear, I'm getting invitation requests here, so apologies a second, just quickly.
It was indeed Peter Phillips that completely T-boned him. I'm surprised he didn't crash out himself actually, Phillips. Collision that hard. Okay, I've gone quiet and it's still coming up with those ones, never mind. Yeah, that was a bit weird. Anyway, Phillips is into the pits there, but Mark Stappers goes out and he just lost it into Brooklands. Lost traction and then ended up sideways across the track, and unfortunately Peter Phillips didn't have anywhere to go. He's lucky they didn't take him out as well, actually. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can, if you're very, very quick, you know, you can make a split-second decision and go, you know, to the perhaps to the outside of the driver, but you know, that's all you have is a split second to make that decision, and yeah, it just all happened in the blink of an eye. So. Very much a sort of bystander there, Peter Phillips. Yeah, absolutely. But at least he's still in the mix, can still race. We are on board again with Nishay Mahadwa Singh as they come down the National Straight, approaching Cops. Nicely done there into Maggots, and these guys, wow, yeah, Nishay does get ahead of Miguel Torney. Again, so his teammate is now his target, and he's 9 seconds down the road. That has released Nishay now, and he is fast, and this track does seem to be suiting him. I don't think he showed it in qualification due to the weather conditions, but he seems to be pretty much okay at this moment in time. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. Oh, John Donker's
gone out.
That in the pit.
John Donker's gone out. I don't know.
No, it was between Cops and Maggots and Beckett somewhere.
Yeah.
And, safety car, I think.
Safety car. I've got safety car out as well. Yeah, Peter Phillips slowed right down there. See, we can't see the Ferrari. See if we see it. We should see it if the safety car's out. No, it must have been on Beckett's actually. Yeah, so it's Maggot Beckett's. Couldn't see the car there. But it has now brought the safety car out. And this is going to mix it up somewhat. What do these guys do on the mediums? No point in coming in, but certainly those guys that are on the softs might be worthwhile them coming in. Marcel Droney could really gain from this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. It's the soft-tired drivers that have got the advantage here because they're able to make a call. They won't lose very much in terms of tyre wear left on their tyres because they're only a few laps perhaps from their natural pit stop. The medium runners, they won't want to come in just yet because it means they'll have pretty much wasted that medium set.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives a good indication also as the pit here, although Droney taking it very easy into the pits. I don't think he's actually hit the... Oh, he has, yeah, it is a lot earlier, yeah, okay. So 15.2 was the break that he had to Hans van der Berg. Into his pit box now. Surely onto, yeah, fresh set of softs there.
Margin in the pit as well. Drive-through penalty for Paul Correa. That's the thing. It can catch you out. Oh no, sorry, that was not coming into the pit. That was speeding under the safety car. But that pit entrance, yeah, it can really catch you out. No, that's another one for Paul Correa. Oh, you still there, Eddie?
Yeah, I am. Sorry, I'm just trying to do a bit of mathematics, and it's not working out.
Yeah, no, it just kicked me completely from the game. I was wondering if everyone.
Oh right. Oh okay. Yeah, I am still there. So obviously some major connection issues going on. Do you want me to? How am I going to do this? Send you an invite, sir.
It's okay. I can join off a profile. It's not a problem.
Okay. So we are on board Marcel Droney. I can't figure this out though because he was 15 seconds behind Van der Berg and now he's 11 seconds behind him. So he hasn't lost anything there, but that's because they've had to slow down for the safety car.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah. So Boy Williamson is with the safety car now as they're just about to come round Chapel onto the hangar straight. Don't think they're going to be breaking any speed trap records here at the end of this straight. So this has bunched them up now, and as we said, obviously the medium runners, no point really in them coming in. This only helps them, I suppose, to a degree to actually give a little bit more longevity to those medium tyres. I guess the guys in front not too worried because they were pretty damn close anyway. It's the guys behind. It's that sort of 7 down to 4. They're the real, well, indeed 8, because Lishay was quite a few seconds behind. Those are the guys that have really won out from this, haven't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Marcel Droney, Lishay Margin, Miguel Torney, and
under 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane for Poiré again. So that's a double whammy he's got there in the space of a lap.
Yes, that's not great. Yeah, 1 drive-through and 2 penalties in 2 laps.
Yeah. So, not quite what he was looking for. Now, these conditions here, we can see these guys really bunching up behind. A little bit of pseudo contact, I think, there from the McLaren onto the Red Bull. I don't think it actually happened. But that's the tricky thing about the safety car, isn't it? Because you've got to stay behind it, but you've got to keep the tyres warm. And on a track like Silverstone, it's not so easy, is it?
No, it really isn't. That's one of the biggest problems that real-life F1 drivers face is, in fact, driving behind the safety car for extended periods of time. Typically, they'll drive perhaps a bit longer than we do in the game under safety car. It tends to stay out a bit longer in real life.
It should come out, I think it should come in at the end of lap 12, so we've still got a lap to go. Though, is it coming in? I don't think it's coming in now, is it?
It will notify us just before the start of Sector 3 if it is indeed coming in this lap.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it will be lap 12 that it will be coming in. it will obviously advise us with regards to that. So this is F1 tonight, Netherlands, and it's season 6, race 11 here for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. We've done 11 laps and we are currently under safety car conditions. We do expect the safety car to come in at the end of the... Oh, it's in on this lap, so it will be coming in at the end of this lap 11. So Boy Williamson is going to be looking to try and back these guys up as much as he can. When does he open it up? He can't open it up out of Copse because obviously the safety car's right ahead of him, and he's got to wait until that safety car actually effectively goes into the pit lane before he can open up. I mean, he's going to do it really out of Vale into Club, I suspect, isn't he?
Yeah, I imagine so. There's not very much to gain from backing them up here, but
that's it.
Yeah.
He's opened it up now, and it was indeed on the exit of Vale, round Club. So we are back racing on lap 12. Boy Williamson leads the way in the Red Bull. Second is Baz Den Bruin in the McLaren. Davey Hartman in the Toro Rosso is in third. Then we have Hans van der Berg, his teammate, in fourth. Sil de Wit in the Renault 5. 6, Marcel Dronig in the Williams. 7, Nishay Mahadwa Singh. And then we have Miguel Torney in 8. Paul Correa, 9, his teammate Peter Phillips, 10. And Martin Parder Cooper in the Alfa Romeo, bringing up 11. Okay, so these guys are now racing, and well, this is going to be the one to watch, though. I think Marcel Dronig, isn't it?
Yeah, big time. He's actually just set the fastest first sector of the race. Bearing in mind his tyres are probably not quite up to optimum temperature at the moment. So yeah, it's quite impressive.
And he's sticking there on the back of Sil de Wit.
Paul Correa just passed Miguel Torney.
He has. Moved up into 8. We're on board with Davey Hartman as they're coming through Beckett's now, round Chapel.
Well, and Dronik's just flown past Sil de Wit on the hangar straight there. I think de Wit had a poor exit out of Beckett's.
Chapel, definitely out Beckett's into Chapel. He's moved up into P5 now, so he's starting to carve his way through. You can see Hans van der Berg ahead of him, and the two Renault's there having a little bit of a fight. Nishay going wide out of Vale, goes off track. Sil de Wit gets ahead. Marcel Dronig looking now at the back of Hans van der Berg. But those front 3 runners already opened up, haven't they? They're already a second ahead of van der Berg and moving away. They seem to have a better pace, I think. Yeah,
slightly. I don't think Van der Berg has used quite as much ERS as the 3 ahead of him. He's pacing himself a little bit better. Although he's got a very fast and angry Dronig behind him.
Yeah, Dronig is definitely closing in on the back of him there. No two ways about it. He's 5/10 off the back of him. He should be looking to make a move, but it's going to have to be, I suspect, probably on the hangar straight, unless Van der Berg makes an error around Copse, Maggots, Beckett's, etc.
Yeah, I thought so. And perhaps the pressure that he's surely applying to the Toro Rossos ahead, that may be enough to force an error.
Yeah, could certainly do so.
Another purple first sector from Dronig. Expect this to be
he's got the DRS, so should be able to close that gap down. But not a great deal, actually. It doesn't look like he used it.
No, ironically, he's actually 2/10 slower than de Berg in that middle sector.
Well, he's definitely closing down on him now.
You go fastest lap from Dronig, 33.5.
1:33. Correa's disqualified from the session, and he's ignored the drive through penalty, and that's why he's been disqualified. Oh, dearie me. So Paul Correa has been disqualified from the session.
Oh, his AI, as it's driving off the track, it just almost caught Miguel Torney. He had to go off track to avoid him as his car was being black flagged.
I've got to say, I mean, we're on lap 14 of 52, Adrian, and we've already lost 6 drivers.
Lost 6 drivers, yeah.
I mean, I wasn't expecting this.
No, me neither. No, you know, it could well be that, you know, drivers were using wet setups for perhaps a wet portion of the race later on that we don't necessarily know about. Or it could just be that they've spent the last 45 minutes driving in the wet, and so their muscle memories haven't quite accustomed to the dry conditions.
Yeah, I mean, it does make a difference, when you go either way, to be quite honest. But I've got to say, sometimes I think it's probably more frustrating when you go from wet to dry. It seems to be a more difficult adjustment than the other way around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is exactly right. Dronik, you have to say, must be looking as a favourite to perhaps knock the front runners off of that top spot in this race. Bearing in mind that the condition that his car
but he's not really able to close down dramatically to Van der Berg, though. I mean, he closes down to him around this sort of first sector and around those first sort of 5 turns, effectively, before they get onto Aintree. He's going to make the move on him. Is he going to make the move on him? He's so close.
De Berg was defending with his ERS. He just cranked it right up to 5 and, effectively shut the door on Dronik.
Well, I think Van der Berg had a problem because he closed down on the back of Hartmann, and then he had an issue because he was trying to see what he could do with Hartmann, and that compromised that part, I think, of the lap for him, which allowed Dronik to close it down.
Yeah, what happened was De Berg was saving his ERS after his sort of failed attempt on his teammate. He backed off a bit, and he backed off the ERS, saved that back up to 70%, and then when Dronik sort of looked like he was going to pass him under DRS, he cranked it back up again.
Yeah,
and it looks like he's keeping it cranked up because he's got the DRS on his teammate at the moment.
Yeah, and he's managing that ERS rather nicely. I was watching through Maggots Beckett's, dialing it down, replenishing, so he is managing it pretty well, and I think that's shown because he is keeping Dronik at bay.
He is, yeah. I mean, I've just said that Dronik is looking at it as a favourite. That's really only in terms of the condition of his tyres and the stage of the race that we're at. I appreciate that he's not making the pass on Van der Berg, but that safety car, that came at just the right moment for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it's going to play into his hands. Not necessarily now, but what it means is that he's on an even keel with these medium runners ahead of him. So he's going to be pitting probably round about the same time, maybe a little bit after the medium runners. Yeah, exactly. So he's on effectively a completely different strategy to the rest of the drivers around him, and he's basically had a few free laps thanks to that safety car. Yeah. Now, the thing is how far can these medium runners stretch? Obviously, they've done, 3 laps under safety car conditions, so that helps them a great deal. I would suspect that on these opening laps, obviously, tyre wear on here, because of the nature of the track, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's pretty even all round, isn't it?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah. Yes, I remember that from last season. Yeah, so on that basis, I would suspect they're probably going to go to the mid-high 20s on these medium tyres. Yeah, you'd thought so. I'm trying to compare it to the last game. Well, no, I can't compare it to the last game because they had the super soft tyres. Exactly. Those super hard tyres, or just the hard tyres, the Bluewood hard tyres that could do the entire race. Yeah, other than the fact that you do have to pit, but yeah, that is right. They were pretty amazing. It's not a track though that suits the hard tyre like some, is it, Silverstone? No, I mean, typically I don't like the hard tyre at very many tracks at all, but particularly not here. I think soft medium is probably the way to go. Although Dronik is on his second set of soft tyres. So, yeah, but then again, he wouldn't have gone on to them had there not been the safety car, I think. Yeah, agreed. So, on that basis, I think it's more to do with the fact that the safety car, and it gave him an opportunity, because he had nothing to lose, ultimately, at the end of the day, and everything to gain. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So what does Dronik do now, then? So, if he's on those soft tyres, he did 8 or 9 laps, was it, before the safety car come out? He was at the end of lap 8 he came in. Yeah, So he's now going to do probably about 15 laps or so on these. So that'll take him to 23. Yeah, which you should say that the medium tyres may stretch that 30 laps to the end, or he could play it safe and just go onto the hard tyres for those 30.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I don't think there's enough to be gained on the hard tyres here because of the nature of the track. If there was a more sort of straight line, fast, sort of like say France or Austria, then I'd say, yeah, maybe the hards would be the way to go. But I don't think hards are the way to go. I think it's going to be a medium, possibly as a soft run.
Yeah. Yeah, I think quite right there.
It's just there's not enough to be gained on this track out of those hards because it's not that sort of track where you can gain that sort of advantage. It's too flowing. I mean, you've got some high speed corners, low speed corners. You do have some straights. I mean, I think the Hanger Straight's Hanger Straight's longer certainly than the Wellington Straight. That's probably the longest. There's not enough there to really make it worthwhile.
No, I think you're right again. Marcel Dronig, though, he's running P5 at the moment. This is a big turnaround in his form. I know he was doing sort of really well at the beginning of the season, and we were saying, well, we haven't really seen this from Dronig so far in the many seasons that he's been here. But I mean, his last 3 finishes, he's finished 7th, 10th, and then a DNF at Austria.
Yeah.
So yeah, good to see him back in the the right side of the pack.
Yeah, he seemed to go through a little bit of a curve in the past 4 races. I think he just seems to sort of hit a bit of a low. But yeah, I mean, certainly judging from his performance here today so far, I think he's sort of coming out of that. But again, this is a track that does suit him.
Yeah, it does. I mean, he's proven that in the past. As I said, he's always scored points at Silverstone. So yeah, I suppose in that respect, it's no surprise to see him running 5th.
Yeah, it's just one of those tracks. Certain drivers suit certain tracks, and I think this is the one here for Dronig. Let's have a quick look down the field, though. I mean, we're on lap 19 of 52, so we're effectively past the third of the way mark. Miguel Torni at this moment in time, well, he's in P10. He's going to be relatively happy with that, I think, because he's in the points, isn't he?
He is. I'm sort of looking back at his previous records, actually, for Torni. Yeah, he's never scored points here before. So, yeah, very well done to him if he can hang on to this point position. All he's got to do is finish this race. There are only 10 drivers.
Indeed. So Miguel Torni there is in 10th place. 9 is Martin Parda Cooper, and that's his teammate. So he'll be picking up a couple of championship points as well if he maintains that place. And again, I think not a bad day so far for Team Alfa Romeo.
No, absolutely not. No, he's he was that driver, wasn't he? That was always 13th. But yeah, no, currently running P9. Yeah, so yeah, it's good 3 points then collectively for Alfa Romeo if they stay where they are. Race isn't over yet, of course.
Yeah, certainly help them. There's no two ways about that. So Parda Cooper is sitting in that 9th place. Peter Phillips in the Haas is in P8. And just see a nice little shot down the side of the Haas there, down the pods as he's coming, I think, around Brooklands by the looks of it, into Luffield. Oh no, it wasn't, sorry. That was actually around the curve and onto the Wellington Straight now. So Peter Phillips, he's in that P8 position. P7, Nishay Mahadwa Singh. We were talking about Nishay earlier. Obviously, great start to the season. Certainly improved, I think, from season 5. We've seen much better qualifying and race pace from him, but hasn't quite got that race mentality down. But I think he's getting there quite rapidly now with the introduction of his new teammate, Sil de Wit, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, big time. Both these drivers are reasonably new. Especially Sil. But yeah, Nietzsche, yeah, he's developing massively over that period where we've seen him race. And as you say, he's just developing his not racing etiquette as such, but his kind of racing mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, sorry, I'll just cut there to Sil de Wit actually making a move on Marcel Dronig. So that's an interesting one. 20 lap old mediums taking 11 lap old softs.
Yep, that's fairly surprising. I can only imagine that perhaps Marcel was either caught napping or he was saving his ERS. He'll be fighting back now, though.
Yeah, I mean, it looked to me as if that was probably started as they were coming out of Stowe down to the end of the final sector, and certainly had the advantage out of club. So he's currently in P6. Sil de Wit in the Renault has moved up to P5. New driver. He's been somewhat outshone, I think, in recent races. We probably, although we have obviously drawn attention to it, but I think he's been a little bit outshone by Yul Tyson, the other sort of rookie driver, effectively, for want of a better word. But he again, he's a driver's shown great pace. So we've said that from the get-go, haven't we?
Yeah, and not just great pace, but great consistency with it as well. He's had 3 Grand Prix, much like Yul Tyson. But he's never finished lower than 6th place.
Yeah, which is quite an accomplishment in itself, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Yul Tyson has not completed that achievement because he finished 7th in his debut.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sil de Wit, and he also puts in the fastest provisional time, 1:33.3. So nice one there, Sil de Wit. Going to be interesting to see when these guys start coming in. Hans van der Berg, well, he's just coming round Aintree, well, the loop into Aintree now onto that Wellington straight, and he's in that P4 position. I think he's going to be happy with that, but he's going to be looking to try and push.
Sorry, Davies just hit the back of board.
Yeah. No, I think that was because that looked like an orange. Yeah, no, it was the end plate. Yeah, it was the end plate. It was red, actually. Davies' end plate has actually come off there. So Damie Hartman makes contact with Baz Den Bruijn as they were coming round Brooklands into Luffield. I think it was actually around Brooklands, and lost the front left end plate off his front wing. That's not going to help him.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Damie, he never finished higher than 3rd. Here, that is his best result. He was looking like he would be on for it, but he'll have a job getting back up to the podium spot now.
Yeah, definitely, and he's already under pressure from Sil de Wit, who's got past him. Sorry, Marcel Dronig as well is getting past him.
Sorry, Eddie, Sil de Wit's just gone around the outside of the reigning champion, although he is damaged.
Damaged, yeah. So Sil de Wit moves up into 4th, Dronig is 5, Den Bruijn still remains in that 3rd place. And Den Bruijn, what would we expect from Den Bruijn, to be brutally honest, especially on this track?
Well, Den Bruijn's probably, he's thinking about 4 or 5 moves ahead of probably the 2 drivers in front of him. So he'll be thinking about what he's doing in that final stint, how he's pacing himself at the moment. You notice he's not really going for the overtake, he's just maintaining the pressure, maintaining his ERS levels, and making sure that he's managing his tyres. So he's very much in it for the long run here, as per usual.
Yeah, great strategist, certainly, Den Bruijn, and it always shows and reflects in his racing. He is currently in that P3 position, just neatly tucked in behind now Hans van der Berg, who's moved up into that P2 place.
That's right. And another thing about Baz, I think he respects van der Berg's pace enough to know that he's not really being held up by him. Although, having said that, I think he's going for the move now. De Berg made a mistake out of Chapel. Yeah,
and I think he just had the run, but look at this, Van der Berg coming back. But because remember, De Bruijn was actually just ahead of Damie Hartman And Damien had that contact with him, which then released Van der Berg to move up. But look at that, De Bruyn, fastest lap, 1:33.2 from Baz Den Bruyn.
Yeah, you'd expect that. He got DRS assisted. Right now Baz is able to apply some pressure to Boy Williamson, who, you know, knowing his form that I have touched on a couple of times during this race, I wonder how that is actually going to affect him.
It's going to be an interesting one. I mean, he's still, well, 1.8 seconds off the back of Boy Williamson. Boy Williamson has been leading this race effectively, well, from the get-go, really.
Yeah, he's done well to...
I mean, obviously, Ewan Tyson went out, as we know. I mean, that was very early doors, so...
Yeah.
You know, he's maintained that place, let's put it like that.
Yeah. Oh, missed gear change there from De Bruyn round Copse Corner. Just shifted down. I think he actually went down into 4th.
Ooh, yeah, not what you want to be doing around there, certainly. So, De Bruyn now has lost time, and he's now under pressure again from Hans van der Berg. And Hans van der Berg makes the move as they coming up. Yeah, makes the move as they go into Stowe on that DRS straight. So he's now retaken that place. And
De Bruyn's in.
De Bruyn's in. Okay, 23 laps. Okay, so as he come in a bit early, does he feel that he's got the opportunity here, and what is he going to go on to? That's the question, isn't it? We've got 27 laps remaining. I suspect he's going to go on to another set of mediums and then try and finish on a soft, or he could go for the soft run now, I guess.
I think he might be going on too hard, although I see medium. No, it's softs. No. Yeah, it's a soft run.
Mediums. It's mediums. I've got mediums.
Oh yeah, no, medium. It's so strange because the pit crew definitely put on soft tyres, and then when they go on the car, they change. They changed
tyre. Yeah, they did put on softs to start with, but yeah, he has gone to a medium. So I think he's going to go for a medium soft.
Yeah, got the beat now.
Run now, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, again, this is another, you know, as I said earlier on, he's looking a few moves ahead, and by pitting now and avoiding the perhaps constant battle with Van der Berg and Boy Williamson eventually, by sort of taking himself away from that fight, he's now able to catch up to them effectively. You know, by having nobody in front of him at the moment. Yeah. Nobody to fight with. All the drives ahead of him will be pitting shortly.
Well, we're riding with Boy Williamson, our race leader at this moment in time. Guru Soissons-Neuf as he comes out, and he's coming round for another lap, so he's into Vale. So he will be doing a 26th lap.
Oh, it's a 5-second penalty for Van der Berg speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah. Oh, dearie me, that is not what Van der Berg wanted, but it's not the first time we've seen it, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. Van der Berg's on some good form, though. You know, he's finished 2nd, 5th and 6th in his last 3. I'd certainly expect him to be on the podium at the end of this race. But yeah, that penalty may just change that.
Well, he's gone on to a set of soft, so he's starting to go aggressive already.
Droning, though, running P3 at the moment.
Yeah, great form from him, and I said, didn't I?
Sorry, Damien Hartman's back in the pit.
He is.
He's only done 3 laps on those tyres.
Okay. That's interesting. Is he going to go on to a set of mediums now? Because that will close his race.
They've got hards in their hand. What actually goes on the car?
Mediums. Yeah, I thought that would be. Oh no, hards. No, they're hards.
Yeah, they're hards.
I've got to say, yeah, I don't get that. Mediums I'd get, hards I don't. Because, I mean, we've got 26 laps remaining, so we're halfway through this race. So, yeah, I've got to question the hards, but still, I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Well, so he was on the soft tyre, the
3
medium
laps
tyre.
He did. Yeah, he was on the medium. Came in.
Was on the soft.
3 laps, comes in, and then goes on to a set of hards.
Yeah, I think that he must have just come in, obviously, to replace the front wing, which they did do.
maybe that's all he had left. Well, I'm sure he'd have more left in his allocation, though.
He may not have done. He may not have had another set of unused mediums.
Ah, yeah, that's a... Yeah. Well, no, he would have done, because it was wet qualifying.
Yeah, yes. But we've restarted the session. He would have had a set of mediums if he'd chosen balanced compounds, although he might have gone for harder compounds.
Wow, yeah, I suppose that does make a difference. Well, I'm sure we'll find out in due course. In the meantime, it has released Marcel Droning, as you rightly say, into that P3 place. Now, I said he'd probably go a bit deeper than those guys on the mediums. We do still have Sil de Wit and Boy Williamson ahead of him on 26 laps, but I'm pretty confident that he's going to be coming in around about the same time as them. So Droning has really won out with that safety car as it stands at this moment in time. He will have to pit, but he's got Nishay Mahadum Singh and Peter Phillips, which are the ones that will close in on them. He is ahead of Hans van der Berg on the track as it stands at this moment in time, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I think he is a net leader, having, despite not actually having overtaken him at any point.
Yeah, absolutely, that's right, yeah.
Miguel Torney with a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I did just see him go off and cause that yellow flag in Sector 3. I can only imagine he just took a bit longer to actually come back on the track, which is why the game's given him that excessive penalty.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And we're just on board with Hans van der Berg now. He's just set the fastest time, 1:32.2, and he's closing down on a major way on Peter Phillips in the Haas.
Yeah, not, you could say, you could argue that he's not actually racing Phillips. They're on completely different strategies. Phillips not actually, Phillips has pitted, of course, during the safety car.
He did, yeah.
They expect him to make the move here. Phillips doesn't typically use his ERS the best way. I think he just keeps it in mode 2 for almost the entire race.
I've got to say, it's tricky though when you're concentrating on the driving to start messing around with the D-pad and buttons. It's depends on the wheel you've got, obviously. Yeah,
of course. Having said that, Phillips is running 6th place. He has got De Bruyne behind him, who will pass him. But that's about it, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's driving a great race and great points for him available if he sticks with it, certainly. Hans van der Berg has now been released, and you can see he's powering away from Peter Phillips. He's 9.5 seconds off the back of Nishay. Nishay, nice, he's up into 4th place. He's on 18-lap mediums. This isn't looking too bad for him at all, actually, at this moment in time, I think.
No,
he's clearly going to be closing on the soft compound tyres. And he's probably going to be coming in round about lap 35, so that will leave him with about 17 laps on those softs, which is ideal.
Yeah, finding a bit of a rhythm now, Nishay. Although he does have a couple of penalties to his name, unfortunately, which will affect his overall race time.
Yeah, that is very true. He does have some penalties there, but equally, Van der Berg has penalties as well, and I'm sure they actually surpass, I think, Nishay's.
Yeah, that is right. Yellow flags in Sector 3 again. That is Martin Paardenkoper. Both Alfa Romeos really struggling for grip.
And again, I think that's probably more to do with the setup, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, the setup
from that qualifying session, and that's the horrible thing. You have to compromise when you've got a wet session, and the chances are you're going to have a dry race. It is a compromise.
That's right. There is also a possibility, bearing in mind that we did restart the session a couple of times, that some drivers may have completely forgotten to put on a setup, so they may be running with a default setup.
Yes, that's a very good point, actually.
Having said that, Your Tyson won the last race with a default setup.
Yeah. Well, he certainly hasn't won this one.
No. Miguel Torney off track again. That's just coming out of Luffield into the old pit straight.
We're on board at the moment now with Sil de Wit in 2nd place in that Renault, and I've got to say, Renault looking good for some solid points from this British Grand Prix here.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from both the drivers as well. Considering that both are relatively new to this league, it's really great to see.
Yeah, obviously Nishay did join us in late season 5, and did he go? Yeah, it was season 5.
Season 5. Yeah.
Sil de Wit, obviously, once we were into this season 6 that we're on now. So here we are. This is it. Lap 30 of 52. This is F1 tonight, Netherlands, and we are here, as we have said, for season 6. Race 11, the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone, and what a race it has been! We had, well, torrential rain during qualifying, and clearly some of the drivers have had to compromise on their setups. We've had carnage on the opening of this race. We lost 6 cars. 6 cars, yes, you heard right, at the beginning third of this race. It has somewhat settled down, but it has mixed up that grid. At this moment in time, we are with Sil de Wit. He's running in second place, just coming into the pits now. Boy Williamson in the Red Bull is leading the way of this race, and I've got to say, he's looking pretty solid for that first place, isn't he, Adrian?
Yes, at the moment. I'm just waiting to see, once Boy comes in, what the gap is to Debrian from him. Because Debrian's had just fresh air in front of him for the last 6 or 7 laps since he pitted.
Yeah, he has obviously, due to pits, now moved up into that P4 place. We've got a number of drivers coming out. Sil de Wit has actually gone on to the soft compound tyres, 21 laps. Well, 20 laps effectively. I think he could be pushing it on those. I don't know what you think. Obviously lesser weight, but 21 laps?
Might be possible. I think that's what Boy's trying to do at the moment as well. I think that's why he's staying out. He's done 30 laps on those mediums. He's going for a 1-stop from mediums to soft.
Yeah, I've got to say, I suspect that I've got to say, I think the preferred option is a 2-stop, but these guys going aggressive on these strategies here, aren't they?
Yeah, big time. Funnily enough, despite Boy having 30-lap-old tyres, his last lap was his fastest lap of the race. So he's not losing any time.
Yeah, but I've seen this before from these medium tyres. They seem to ebb and flow. They seem to sort of start off, reach a high, drop down a bit, reach a high, and then suddenly fall. So I suspect that he's probably on that last sort of hooray, effectively, of wear on that medium tyre. That being the case, he's probably only got about 2 laps where he can really push it. So I suspect he's going to be coming in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he is coming at the end of this lap. I think he's coming onto the soft tyre. He can do 20 laps on those. If he can do 31 on these, he can do 20 on the soft, definite. Yeah,
I think that's a pretty safe bet as well, actually. Nishay Mahad was sitting in the meantime, has moved up into P2, and I was saying Nishay's strategy is somewhat different. Obviously, he's on 22-lap-old mediums now. He's not going to maintain this place, but he is going to come in, go onto a set of soft compound tyres, and the chances are he's going to probably be fighting it out, I suspect, for P5, whoever's going to be there, because he's going to be coming out around about P6, so he could be fighting, actually, with his teammate again.
Yeah, but again, a good analysis there. Yeah, I think the battle will be for P5, and it will be with Sil de Wit.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that one pans out. Hans van der Berg. Now, what do you do when you're Hans van der Berg? It's lap 32, 20 laps to go. He's on 6-lap-old softs. He hasn't. I don't think he's got much choice. He needs to try and hold these to the end, doesn't he?
Yeah, but that's going to require some epic tyre management. It's not impossible. But it's near impossible. You know,
I mean,
because
go on.
I was just going to say, to manage your tyres that well, you need to really sort of slow down into the corners, and by doing so, I think Philip's got speed penalty. Speed in the pit lane. It's been a flawless performance from him so far up to that point. But to manage your tyres that well, your lap times are going to just suffer so badly that it almost becomes not. It's not efficient to do that.
I've got to say, I think 26 laps is a stretch. I think if any track you can do it at, it's going to be this one and probably Sochi.
Eddie, sorry to interrupt you, Eddie. His boy's come out behind Baz.
He has.
So Baz is your net leader.
Yeah, he has. Boy Williamson has come in. He has gone on to the set of softs as we predicted at the end of lap 32. And yeah, we've got a little bit wrong-footed there. We should have seen that one coming because Baz Brian is 3.7 seconds down the road. How dangerous, well, sorry, 1.7 seconds down the road to Boy Williamson. But in reality, how dangerous is that? He's on 8-lap-old mediums. He's going to have to go to the end of the race. He's going to be on 28 laps. Boy Williamson.
He can't go to the end of the race because he's only used medium
he's got to come in and go. That's right. He's got to come in and go onto a set of softs, hasn't he? So yep. I don't think this is going to make too much of a difference to Boy because he's got to come in and pit anyway. Yeah, that's why I was trying to figure out, scratching my head, why we hadn't sort of picked up on that. But that's the reason why, isn't it?
That's right. And that also allows Boy to manage his tyres a little bit better, knowing that he hasn't got to overtake Baz on track because Baz will have to come in anyway. He can just sit behind him. I wouldn't say cruise necessarily, but just he hasn't got the stress about passing him.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. But then again, he hasn't got the stress of passing him, but he's got to be aware of that gap that he's got to the guys ahead of as well, because he doesn't want to sort of open that up too much either.
No, that is right as well. But I think both Baz and Boy's pace will enable them to catch up to the two drivers ahead. And don't forget, those drivers in 1 and 2 at the moment, Nietzsche's got to pit in again, and Han has penalties.
Yeah, that is very true indeed. We are actually on board now with Boy Williamson as they're out of the National Straight into Cobb's Corner, coming now, approaching the Maggots and then into Beckett's sector. And Boy Williamson, I think, is going to make the move of him out of Chapel onto that hanger straight with the DRS.
Baz was a little bit sideways through Maggots. Yeah, it looks like the move's going to be made. Baz isn't fighting.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I don't know now.
Not so sure about that one. Yeah, definitely wheel to wheel there between those two as they come through Vale. Boy will have the opportunity, obviously, out of club, but I don't think he's going to be able to make the most of it. No, it goes very wide out of club, actually. Trying to close down. It's really going to be on that Wellington straight. He needs to get on the back of the Brain as they come round Village and then into the loop. He needs to be right on his coattails so that when they come round turn 5 Aintree onto that Wellington straight, he can get full advantage. He hasn't quite got it there. Then Brain better, I think, round loop and Aintree. But yes, no, yeah, he has got it. Yeah, yes, no, maybe, yep. Yeah, he's got him into Brooklands there. So Boy Williamson taking then Brain into Brooklands, maintains it round Luffield, and now he's on the National Straight coming down to Copse. That should be pretty straightforward now. I don't think there's an awful lot that Brain can do to respond really to that.
No, not really. All he can rely on now is Boy's poor tyre management. That's what he'll be hoping for. Boy just gets a 3-second penalty there for multiple warnings.
Yeah, he'll need picking up 3-second penalty as well.
Yeah, to lose his net position.
Yeah, he will. I think Brain obviously trying to keep up with him, but I've got to say, ERS-wise, he's not looking too shabby at this moment in time.
He's not, no, not at all, as you'd kind of expect.
So, where does this leave us? Let's have a quick look through the field now that we've had this final stint of pits. And fastest lap, Sil de Witt, 131.4. Interesting. Okay, so we are on board with Miguel Torney. He's currently in P10, so he's in the championship points. And then his teammate Martin Parder-Cooper is ahead of him. So Alfa Romeo both picking up points for this British Grand Prix as long as they stay where they are. Damie Hartman in the Toro Rosso, though, in P8 on those hard compound tyres. And, well, I'm not surprised because I couldn't see that working for him. We were discussing, you know, the pros and cons of the hards on this track, and it's just not one of those tracks for the hard compound tyre, is it?
No, not personally. Anyway, I know that there will be drivers that disagree and say that Hard's absolutely fine at Silverstone. I don't know what you're talking about, but
yeah, true. Someone like Dylan Platt probably would.
Yeah, indeed. But for me personally, I don't particularly like the Hards, as I said, on any track, but not at Silverstone either. It's important to note as well that Roy Williamson, I know he did 31 laps on those medium tyres, but that he didn't have to use those tyres at all in Q2 as it was wet.
Sorry, just a quick one here. Sil de Wit has actually just got out ahead of his teammate. He's overtaken him for P4, so Nishay Mahadwar Singh.
He's in the pit now.
He's in the pits. Yeah, so he's just obviously, that's well, he obviously let him through because he knew he was coming into the pits in that case. But Sil de Wit, fastest lap again, a 1:31.0, I think that was, isn't it?
31.2.
31.2. So Sil de Wit really pushing hard through there at this moment in time. And yeah, Dronig comes past the pits now, takes that 5th place from Nishay. So that is the final pit there, is Nishay Mahadwar Singh, and indeed going onto their soft compound tyres. So as I was saying, Martin Pardakupa, he's down in P9. And P8, Davey Hartman, which is where we were, and we were discussing obviously those hard compound tyres, hasn't really paid off for him. And I think he's hard pushed to try and to better that position before the end of this race.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, it's, I wouldn't say it's a foregone conclusion, but yeah, he's gonna have to really go for it to try and improve on that.
Well, Peter Phillips is in P7. He's 20.5 seconds down the road to Damey. Good run here from Phillips, got to say, in that 7th place. Great shame that his teammate Paul Querret was disqualified for not coming in to serve that penalty. Nishay Mahadwar Singh is in 6th place for Renault. Adrian, you gonna add something in there somewhere?
Yeah, I was just going to say about Phillips. Yeah, he's as we said earlier on, it's his best performance in his whole F1 Tonight career has been at Silverstone in the past. Last season finished 6th place. This season looks like he's on for a solid 7th. It'll be 6 more championship points. I think he'd be really pleased with that. I don't think there's much danger of Damey Hartman closing up that gap in time.
No, I very much doubt it, and I think Peter Phillips definitely taking some solid points. But as we said, he does perform here at Silverstone. It is a track that seems to suit him rather well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be loving that. But yeah, Nishay as well. I know Nishay's had a couple of penalties. He has missed a few races this season, but he's I could definitely consider this back on form for the Renault driver.
Yeah, definitely great run there from Nishay, and he's in that P6 at the moment. He's 14 seconds down the road from Marcel Dronig. We were expecting to fight for that P5 place probably with his teammate, but his teammate has got past Dronig, and Dronig's a little bit further down. I think Nishay's lost a little bit of time there. I don't know if he's going to be able to challenge Dronig before the close of this race. He may do, he should do, really. I mean, 13 seconds. He should close down to Dronig, so he will be challenging for that 5th, but it's going to be with Dronig as opposed to his teammate de Wit.
Yeah, it's another 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. I think that's about 9 seconds he's accumulated now.
Yeah, so I don't think Dronig's got too many penalties. He's in P5. And a solid race from Marcel Dronig in that Rocket Williams, isn't there?
Yeah, it was an inspired choice to come in during that safety car period. It just came out at just the right time for him. Yeah, to be honest, I expected him to be perhaps a bit further up into that group ahead of him, net. But yeah, it just wasn't quite to be. But yeah, solid performance. P5, 10 points. That's decent, and that's much better than he's done in his last 3 races. Yeah,
I think he is going to be on the challenge though, because Nishay just set the fastest lap on those soft compound tyres, so he will close down on Dronig. Just going to be interesting to see how that actually pans out. So he will be fighting for that 5th place with Dronig. Sil de Wit, in the meantime, is teammate to Nishay Mahadwar Singh. in that second Renault. He's up in P4, 6/10 off the back of Baz Den Breyen. I've got to say, Den Breyen, it's not looking good for him for that podium as it stands at this moment in time.
No, I don't quite know why, but that's the situation we find ourselves in. Hans van der Berg has finally come into the pit. I was wondering if he was going to try to eke it out.
No, 13 laps. He's going to have to go on to another set of softs, and that will bring him out in the P4 position. So it's just a question of how far off the back of the Vit he's going to be. But the Vit is, he's maintaining a gap to Den Breyen, but he's definitely letting him know that he's there, isn't he?
Yeah, big time. What De Vit may not know is that De Breyen, of course, still has to pit in. He's only used the medium tyres. He has not used any other tyre yet. So regardless of if he gets actually physically past him or not, he will get past him when he pits in. And there's very few laps of this, very few, only 12 laps of this race left after they complete this one.
Den Breyen, as you say, he has to pit. He's got no choice because he has used medium compound tyres. It's not as if he could stay out on these tyres, but he can't. He's got to come in.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, we talk about Baz, as a master strategist, but I think he's actually got the strategy wrong in this case.
I've got to agree with you on that one because something's gone awry, but I can't quite figure out how. Is the way I'm looking at it at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think the green. I thought he'd be coming in now.
He's not coming in.
He's
He's staying out. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. I think that was for the car that moved aside there to let him through.
So De Vit could, he's looking at his equal best position, and again, this is only his 4th race. He finished 2nd at France. He's going to surely finish 2nd here. Sorry, it wasn't 2nd at France. That was Demi Hartmann, 2nd at France. He was 6th at France, qualified 2nd at France. But nonetheless, De Vit has never finished lower than 6th place, and that is definitely not going to change. De Vit will surely make the move on De Breyen down the Hanger Straight. We're not going to make it easy though. Goes on the inside this time. Into Stowe. Got an easy move in the end. De Breyen must pit in. There's only 10 laps left. I wonder if De Breyen is aware that he must pit in. Dronig could actually find himself in a podium. He could actually find himself on the podium, which is a fantastic result for him. Gone from 7th to 10th to DNF to podium. Yeah, De Breyen completely out of ERS now as well. It's very uncharacteristic from the 5-time constructors champion. Seem to have lost Eddie for the time being. Not quite sure what's
sorry. Yeah, I had myself
Oh.
muted and I totally forgot. No, I was just saying, I'm trying to I'm scratching my head here, trying to figure out what's happened to Den Breyen, because I can't quite figure out where it's gone wrong.
No, me neither, really. Medium, soft. It's the same strategy employed at Canada. Was looking to win that, actually finished 6th in the end. His teammate Guido on exactly the same strategy won that race. And
He's in
De Bruyne
now.
is finally in.
So he is in now. Yeah, I'm just thinking, is it just simply pace? Sil de Wit simply just had the better pace, and Dronig as well, and that's what's made the difference. I think he will actually come out ahead of Dronig, though. I'm not too sure. He is coming out now.
It's a long old pit here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Dronig's just out of Veel, coming round Club now, and De Bruyne is only just coming out of the pit box. No, so yeah, Dronig will take that third place. De Bruyne will drop down into fourth. He is on the soft compound tyres. 9 laps remaining. Oh, and Hans van der Berg has got past him as well. So, and Nishay Mahad was seeing. Oh dear. Yeah, this hasn't gone right for him. So he's 1.5 seconds off the back of Nishay Mahad was seeing. Nishay Mahad was seeing has now moved up into that 5th place. He's 3.5 seconds off the back of Hans van der Berg. And Hans van der Berg is in P4, but he's 6 seconds off the back of Dronig. Who's 19 seconds. Yeah, this is looking very interesting and somewhat of a turnaround to what we were expecting only 10 laps ago.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, this may, or perhaps it may not surprise you now that, De Bruyne has not actually had a podium since Monaco. Despite the qualifying in the top 3 every race since China.
Yeah. I think the eye is somewhat off the ball at Team McLaren at this moment in time for numerous reasons, and not necessarily down to the driver's own faults in a way, in a manner of speaking, really. But let's see us hopefully get McLaren in the next stages, next races to come back, start challenging through. But Marcel Dronig, he's going to be very happy little bunny at this moment in time, isn't he?
He is, absolutely. I don't know if he expected to be running in P3 come the final stages of the Grand Prix, but he'll certainly be pleased that he is there.
Oh,
he'll be overjoyed.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be very, very pleased. I mean, some solid points there for Williams. Obviously, his teammate going out fairly early doors under Hermans, unfortunately, and it was rather an unfortunate incident, but Dronig waving the flag there for Rocket Williams in that P3 place, and it is looking solid. He does have Hans van der Berg 4.3 seconds off the back of him. There are 8 laps remaining, but I think van der Berg's just carrying too many penalties for it to actually have any effect, even if he gets past him. Yeah, both van der Berg and Mahad Singh both carrying penalties. De Bruyne may still be on for P4 because of that. If that's the case, I mean, De Bruyne is under a second off the back of Nishay Mahad was seeing. On that basis, he needs to get past this Renault, doesn't he?
Yeah, because Mahad Singh is falling back from van der Berg, I believe. Yes, he is, by about a second a lap.
So Nishay Mahad was seeing, remember, he's on those soft compound tyres. He's got 7 laps remaining. Will take 14. They can do that, but I think the longevity of this race may be starting to tell on Mahad Singh.
Yeah, absolutely right. Baz De Bruyne picks up the fastest lap though.
Yeah, 30.222.
That is a phenomenal lap. He was in mode 5 for the vast majority of that lap, so everything cranked right up. He was not mucking about there.
Right on the back of Mahad Singh as they come round the loop into Aintree, onto that Wellington straight. This is his opportunity. I'm sure he'll make the move fairly easily, as he does.
Mahad Singh climbing back that late on the brake.
Back, yeah, late braking from Mahad Singh into Brooklands. Held it very well, though, I've got to say. But De Bruyne does stay ahead of him, and this is all important for De Bruyne now. He really needs to take full advantage of these soft compound tyres, and all of a sudden he's not going to be able to close it. I don't know, actually.
What, the 6 6.5 seconds?
6 laps remaining. 7 seconds is the gap that he's got to Marcel Dronig. It's a big ask.
Dronig, by the way, hasn't even got one warning against
Yeah, I was
his
about to
name.
say, he's got no penalties, and that's why I'm looking at it from that point of view. He's got to do it on track.
And De Bruyne has 3 seconds of penalties.
Yeah, but he will get that P4 from Van der Berg, though, because of the amount of penalties Van der Berg's carrying, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So what he really needs to try, he needs to charge through, and he needs to be knocking a lap off all of the guys ahead of him. Well, bar Sil de Wit and Boy Williamson.
Yep.
So this is going to be very, very interesting indeed. Well, we are here. This is F1 tonight, Netherlands. We are at the closing stages of this round 11 here at Silverstone for season 6 of the Netherlands League. FAP 46 of 52 we are on now. We're on board with Hans van der Berg in the Toro Rosso. Currently he is running in 4th place, but he does have a number of penalties hanging over his head. Hans van der Berg has Baz de Bruyne in the McLaren, who's looking to take that place from him, and I've got to say it's looking very likely that he will do. If not on track, he certainly will do on points, although I do feel he may well do that on track. It's going to be an interesting fight for the close of this race. And oh, hang on, what's going on here? Marcel Dronig has dropped down. Hans van der Berg has taken that P3 place from him, and I think Marcel Dronig has made an error, it looks like, down that Hanger straight.
Yeah, it also looked like he picked up a penalty in the process.
I think he has 3 seconds. So yeah, I think he's still okay for that P3. It all depends on Hans van der Berg. I don't know if you want to have a quick look and work out on the penalties there. Nishay Mahadwar Singh picks up a 3-second time penalty. Sil de Wit, though, in that Renault is looking very, very strong indeed for that 2nd place. And I've got to say, could he challenge Boy Williamson for that 1st place? I think he can smell it. He can see that Red Bull just ahead of him as he's coming round Chapel onto that Hanger straight. There are only 5 laps remaining, but can Sil de Wit on an older set of soft compound tyres actually make the move on Boy Williamson before the close of this race? That's going to be interesting.
Sil de Wit and Boy Williamson both have the same number of penalties, so this is an on-track fight to the death.
Yeah, 4 laps remaining, and I don't know, what are your feelings on that, Adrian? Do you think we could see de Wit challenging for that 1st place?
Yes, definitely. Gained 7 tenths on the last lap. If he keeps doing that, he will be right up the backside of the Red Bull. So yeah, this is going to be winner takes all, isn't it? So
we're expecting some very, very close racing. Closer than we are at this moment in time at the remaining laps of this race. I think in the next couple of laps it's going to get far more interesting. Adrian, what about on those points differences between van der Berg and Dronig?
Yes, so Van der Berg has picked up, of course, 6 seconds. Oh no, he's got 5, 8, 13 seconds for Van der Berg versus Dronig, who's only got 3. No, Dronig doesn't have any. Sorry, that wasn't the penalty for Dronig.
So 13 seconds. So at this moment in time, Dronig is actually 11 seconds ahead of Hans van der Berg. It also means that then Brian moves up to 4th. And I think Nishay Mahadwar Singh could actually move up to 5. This could be that Hans van der Berg could actually drop down to P6.
Yeah, I think Nishay's got penalties of his own, which may be enough to prevent him from passing. I think he's got more than enough. He's got more than enough, actually.
Yeah. So
Peter Phillips may finish P6.
Yeah, Peter Phillips could well finish 6th. That's going to be a good one for him. That's going to be very good. Then Brian will be finishing. Where will he be finishing? 4th. Yeah. Yep. They'll be finishing 4th, and Dronig will get on that podium for P3. So Sil de Wit now with 3 laps remaining. Is he going to close down to the race leader who's been leading, well, predominantly nearly all of this race, and that's Boy Williamson? And Sil de Wit is certainly looking as if he's going to go for it, isn't he?
He's not taking it lying down. I don't think he's happy settling for second place when they're 4 laps from the end and he's only 1.4 behind, and he is driving much faster than the race leader.
Yeah, so Sil de Wit now in the closing stages of this British Grand Prix. Round 11 of season 6 here for F1 Tonight Netherlands, and it's going to be a nail-biter. Will Sil de Wit make the move? Can he get close enough to Boy Williamson to actually take that P1 place from him, where he's been leading the vast majority of the way? It's going to be very, very interesting indeed to see how this is going to pan out.
Only 1.1 behind now. He's going to be within DRS very soon.
Quick look at the position changes here. Up 4 from 6 is Sil de Wit, De Berg up 4, Dronig up 4, Nishay Madhu Singh up 8, Peter Phillips up 4. So yeah, quite some changes there. So we are now 2 laps remaining of this race. Is he going to do it? He's closing down on him, but it just, I don't know. Boy Williamson just seems to be doing enough, but he's going to be within that second distance, isn't he? And could he pick it up on that on that second detection point down the hangar straight?
I think if it's going to happen, that is where it will happen. Boy Williamson is on the very edge of his very edge of his seat, very edge of his fuel excess. He's got no spare fuel to waste. Sil de Wit still has some to keep it in rich mode for a bit longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
David Hartman's in the pit again, by the way. I think he's going for fastest lap, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to have to. That's the only saving grace he's going to get, unfortunately, from this race. Those hard compound tyres just did not work for him, did they?
No, they didn't. He gained zero places on that stint.
Yeah. So we are now on the penultimate lap here as Sil de Wit in the Renault, season rookie to season 6 here for F1 Tonight Netherlands. He's been somewhat unshone by the other rookie, Yul Tyson, who went out in disastrous way early on in this race. I'm sure he's going to be pretty unhappy with that, but I'm sure Sil de Wit would have been up there irrespective of whether Yul Tyson had gone out or not by the way he's performed here this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's been a flawless drive from Boy Williamson. Led every lap of this race.
It has been impeccable.
About 10 in the middle.
I've got to say, yeah, Boy Williamson has driven an absolutely impeccable race. He really has. Started in that P2 place, took full advantage, and moved up to P1 and has dominated since he took that P1 place. Nobody has been able to touch him. They've got close, but they haven't been able to touch him. But right now, this is the most pressure he's come under through the whole race as he's about to start his final lap. And he's going to know that the Wit's there, and this is going to be a horrible feeling, isn't it? He's been leading all the race, and right on the last lap, he's now got a Renault on his tail.
Yeah, he's doing exceptionally well to fend him off. He's using his ERS at the right moments to stop the Wit from being able to sort of get within that DRS activation zone. But what you've got here, Eddie, is you've got a seasoned veteran who's never won or never even finished a race here at Silverstone versus a complete rookie who's never raced here at Silverstone. And they're both battling for the win.
Yeah, it is a great run, I've got to say. Oh my, I don't know about Boy being on the edge of his seat, but I certainly am.
We spoke a couple of times about ducts being broken. That's going to be mentioned again come the end of this lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are right on the knockings now as they're coming through Maggots and Beckett's. De Vit has closed down. He is within that DRS. Is he going to be able to take advantage of our chap? Oh, and he's really riding hard through Beckett's, but I don't know. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough for him to make the move or not? Coming round Copse now. Sorry, not Copse, I'm saying Stowe. Coming down towards Vale. Oh, this is going to be right at the closing stages. He's riding on the back of Boy Williamson now, and he's lost it! He's lost it! He's spun it out of club! Oh my goodness me! And Boy Williamson takes the win here at Silverstone. The pressure was just too much there for De Vit. Boy Williamson takes the win. Sil De Vit in the Renault takes second place. Who will take third place?
Eddie Mahendra Singh just passed Droning on track at Stowe.
Oh my goodness, we were expecting that fight there between them. Well, we were expecting a fight for fifth place. Nishay Mahendra Singh does get ahead, but is it going to count because of the points that he's actually got against him? Hans van der Berg crosses the line in third, but goes down to fourth. Then Brian takes up that third place. He will be on the podium, but who is going to get that fourth place? Oh, Droning does stay in fifth place. Nishay Mahendra Singh is sixth. Peter Phillips will come across the line. Will he take that sixth place from Nishay? I don't think he will.
Yeah, I don't think he will, no.
No,
I don't think
he won't.
Penalties.
Penalties stand there. Not enough. So, Peter Phillips does finish in seventh place. And wow, what a finish there. And wow, that was nail biting right to the end. I said it was going to be scary. I didn't realise it was going to be that scary.
That was a great race at Halloween, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But Boy Williamson takes the win. Second place. Where are we? Second place goes to Sil De Vit there, spraying the champagne over Boy. And just there on the right-hand side, you can see Baz and Brian from McLaren takes that P3 place, does get a podium finish. What a fantastic result. Wow, what a race. And I've got to say, Boy Williamson, impeccable drive there. It's so close. I mean, we're looking at driver of the day here. God. I don't know, Adrian. I'm looking at this and it's yeah.
To be honest, Eddie, if it's completely up to me, I think I'd actually go with Sil De Vit.
Yeah.
Despite what I said earlier on.
I've got to say, fastest lap I think he did there, 1:30.9.
I think
no,
what
it wasn't the fastest lap, but great lap.
It wasn't the fastest lap, but it was his determination to just give it everything in that final stint to not only catch up, but to realistically attempt the overtake on that last lap. He was pushing it right to the line, and you could see that because he lost control of the car almost across the finish line. It was just on that final turn, but he was far enough ahead of P3 to hold on to it.
Yeah.
So respect to him for putting up that fight.
Yeah, definitely. I've got to agree. Well, I've got race 10. It's race 11, isn't it?
No, it's race 10.
That's race 10. Oh, okay. I was losing the plot there. I was calling it race 11. Never mind. You can ignore that. It's race 10. Race 11 is going to be Hockenheimring, and that's where we're going to be next week, isn't it, Adrian?
That's right. Yeah, looking forward to that one. From a commentary point of view, anyway. I hate racing.
It's certainly going to be an interesting race. So, Sil De Vit comes in second, gets driver of the day. Boy Williamson, fantastic race for him, gets that third place, and Baz and Brain gets third. Next week, we are going to be at the Hockenheimring. However, this coming Tuesday, where are you going to be, Adrian?
I'm going to be here again.
You're going to be at Silverstone. You're not going to be in the commentary box, are you?
I know. I'm going to be in me rig and hopefully not get cramp after 5 laps. Be able to finish a race.
You're going to have to move that pedal plate closer.
Or drink more water.
Or drink more water, or maybe practice ballet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah,
that's what you need to do. Just walk around the house standing on your tiptoes, mate. That'll do the job.
Well, I've already got my tutu.
Oh, have you? Tutu what? I've got a tot. Right, so we're going to see Adrian next week on his rig in a tutu. driving the Red Bull here at Silverstone, and that's Tuesday night, this coming Tuesday. F1 Tonight UK racing for their Season 1 Race 10 at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. It is going to be a corker, so don't miss it. 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time, and this time next week we'll be at the Hockenheimring with the F1 Tonight Netherlands crew for their race 11 of season 6. That said, I hope you had a wonderful Halloween. And it's a good night from me, everybody.
Good night from me. Good night.
Good night, everyone.